Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. Welcome back to Tampa City Council, best show on cable television. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Miranda, Maniscalco, Hurtak, Young,
Here.
Vieira, Carlson, and Clendenin.
Here.
We have a physical quorum.
Thank you so much. Okay, so where we are now on the agenda, are there any requests by the public for reconsideration of legislative matters? Hearing none, let's move to the consent agenda. Public Safety Committee, Councilman Miranda, would you move items 6 through 9?
Chairman, I move items 6 through 9 in Public Safety Committee.
We have a motion from Councilman Miranda, second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye.
I have something to
Oh,
say.
okay, Councilwoman Hurtak.
Thank you. So, where did I even put it? I'm going to vote for item 9 today, but I specifically asked for staff to work on finding some information on costs going forward, particularly costs for police and costs for other communities. I had this issue last year and they weren't able to get me any data. So I just think this is a lot of money per person. So I still want some, oh, there it is. I'm going to vote to approve this contract today so TFR is not left without a contract for services that's required by the union, but I've asked Ms. Kopesky to work with Cheap Trip and Deanna Faggart to review this for contract for costs, utilization of services, and to compare costs with other municipalities. So just wanted to say that.
In the future, though, if we could request to pull that item, so then we don't have to do that.
Oh,
So we do
sorry.
really cool. Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay.
Okay, so we had a motion and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. For Neighborhood Community Affairs Committee, Councilwoman Young, would you move items 10 through 21?
Well, it's 10 through 17, because I pulled 18.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
And then 19 through 21.
That's right. So we've got a motion to pull items, I'm sorry, to move items 10 through 17, 19, 20, and 21. And we have a second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Infrastructure Committee, 22 through 33.
Did we pull anything between those two?
I do not have anything pulled on those, no.
No? Okay, I move items 22 through 33.
33. We have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco, second from?
Aye.
Second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Councilman Miranda, would you move item 34?
It's a big item, Mr. Chairman. Move item number 34.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilman Miranda, second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it unanimously. Councilman Carlson, would you move item 35?
Nope.
Can't.
It's continued.
Yep.
Item 35 was continued?
Yep.
Oh, shoot.
Yep.
Oh, how did I
Yeah.
miss that? Okay.
No. I had February
I missed that
No,
one.
January.
8th. January.
Okay, never mind, Councilman Carlson. Councilwoman Hurtak.
Thank you.
36 through 39.
I move 36 through 39.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, a second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Can I get a motion to set the public hearing?
Motion to schedule file DE 1-25-160C. Review hearing to be scheduled February 5th,
Second.
2026, 1:30 PM, 315 East Kennedy Boulevard, 3rd floor, Tampa, Florida, 33602.
Thank you. And we have a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Carlson?
point of order. Jason Marlowe told me that he's withdrawn his name from the charter review, so if you want to move that now or wait. So there's only one candidate for the
Okay.
just in terms of your scheduling, I want to let you know there's only one candidate now, Allison, so.
I think what would be appropriate is if, with that information, we'd have to take the vote, and people, some change the vote then. Let's move this, and we'll move this as soon as I finish this. Items number 54, 57, 58, 59, and 60, I need a motion to move the resolutions. We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, a second from
Second.
Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, so let's go back to the Charter Review Commission. Okay.
I move to nominate Allison Hewitt.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, very good. Now we have, that is for the alternate position for the Charter Review Committee. Councilwoman Hurtak?
With all due respect,
Yes, ma'am.
we moved this back to the end of the meeting, so I think we should probably get second readings done.
Well, the issue is that it would be good to be able to get this, we really needed to get this for lunch, but for him to be able to do the stuff he's got to do before we close business today.
Oh, okay.
So, I see other mics down here. Anybody have anything to say on this? Okay, so we have the resolution. We need to adopt, Mr. Shelby?
Not yet, not until I have a few minutes to put it into the paperwork and get it to the clerk. I just scratched out the words "to be determined" and hand
Right.
wrote Allison Hewitt, and I need to be able to get on my word processor and just give a finished product.
We could still vote on it, knowing that that's what the resolution
Is
is
that
gonna
okay
be.
with you?
Yeah,
As long as I give it to you.
yeah, okay.
So you could move the resolution.
Can you also read out the names?
Yeah, no, I was
I saw Michael Bishop asked us.
patience, everybody, I'm gonna get there. So, so where the council is now, we have the Charter Review Commission. Per our charter, we're establishing this committee to look at the charter for the city of Tampa, this is for the public, for the, during the next year, coming up in January. Each council member had an opportunity to appoint one person, and then the mayor's office had an opportunity to appoint two folks. Then the mayor had an opportunity to appoint an alternative member, and the council had an alternate member. We just passed the alternate by council vote for Allison Hewitt to be our alternate. The following members have been nominated by members of council. For District 1, myself, I nominated Garrett Greco. For District 2, Councilman Maniscalco, Stephen Benson. For District 3, Councilwoman Lynn Hertek, Bobby Creighton. For District 4, Councilman Bill Carlson, Bill Shafino. For District 5, Councilwoman Naya Young nominated Ashley Moreau. For District 6, Councilman Charlie Miranda nominated Rebecca Kurt. And for District 7, Councilman Vieira nominated Alan Cohn. We have a resolution memorial, and then for the mayor's appointment, it's Kathleen Shanahan, Ron Cristaldi, and their alternate is Sue Carlton. We have a resolution before us which institutionalizes this process, and including the facilitator and the attorney that will be working with the committee to evaluate and provide recommendations to council on, commission recommendations to the council to suggest changes to the charter, which will be vetted by this council and then sent to the mayor for signature, and then things that are passed will be put on the ballot for the public to be able to vote on. Mr. Shelby, you had something else to say? Okay.
No, just what passage of this resolution today will institutionalize that and make your nominations, they will be appointments now.
Appointments, right.
And again, the designation, I don't know whether you want to, no, I think that's sufficient.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilman Maniscalco.
I just want to commend my colleagues. These are amazing picks. Each and every one here, I know all of them, and it's going to be a great commission. I'm really looking forward to this. Thanks.
Can I just say one thing?
Councilman
I
Carlson.
kind of mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but my appointment, Bill Shafino Jr., I picked him because he's a former Florida bar president. And in the past, when there's been a dispute between city council and the mayor, the city attorney has gone to a former Florida bar president to intervene. And so I want to make sure we have the best possible legal, they're not giving legal advice, but legal perspective on how to ethically maneuver some of these issues.
And before we move this resolution, I would like to thank our attorney, Marty Shelby. This has been between my office and my aide, Sam Thomas, and Hager Kopesky, and our amazing lawyer team with the city of Tampa, Andrew, Ms. Zellman, and everybody else that had a hand in this, in crafting this. This is it's been quite an undertaking. There's been a lot of work behind the scenes. It comes off as one document in one moment in time as city council. People don't realize the amount of work that went in behind the scenes to this, and it was part of the stress points this morning of trying, because we needed to get this done before this meeting concluded, since this was the last meeting of the year, and it's one of the reasons it was really stressful this morning trying to move the agenda so forward. So, thank you. So we have the resolution before us for the Charter Review Commission. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it unanimously. Thank you. Okay, very good. Mr. Shelby.
I have one more resolution, and that is the process of accepting the limited service agreement for the provision of legal services to the Charter Review Commission by Attorney Kenneth Tinkler of Carlton Fields.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilwoman Hertek, a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Mr. Shelby.
Thank you.
Good work,
Thank you, council.
very good work. Whew, that's like a huge weight off of us, like major weight off the shoulders. Okay. Let's see, where are we at? Okay, we did 41. Now we are going to 42. We've already opened this public hearing, so we're not ready. So 42.
Good afternoon, Council. Emma Gregory, Legal Department. Today, we are here for number 42. This is a second reading on an ordinance proposing a increase to the multimodal impact fee. For some background, the city held its first reading on December 4th, and before that, we held 2 workshops in September and October. So the city has a multimodal transportation impact fee. This is a type of impact fee that we're authorized to impose under section 163.31801 Florida statutes. And as we've discussed before, the fee has not been updated since 1989. So this proposed ordinance adopts the December 2025 impact fee update study. It makes a finding of extraordinary circumstances. It replaces Exhibit 1 of Chapter 25, which is the fee schedule, with a new fee schedule, which would be phased in over 4 years and with an effective date of July 1st. So I submitted a substitute ordinance and a memo updating the effective date from June 1 to July 1. In the interim period between first reading and now, there was some legislation introduced that our recommendation was just to kick out that effective date 1 month. So that would help us administer it more effectively, in our opinion. And it strikes out some out-of-date language in section 25-69. So we are here for any questions that council may have, and the council, I believe, received some communication yesterday, I believe, and we have our consultant, Catherine Tellez from Fair and Peers, to address some of the issues that were raised. Thank you.
Question? Yes, Councilman Carlson.
Ms. Pointer this morning mentioned in public comment that the other fee studies have been done, but somehow we haven't been given a copy of it. It seems like if that had been done, that we should have seen that in this context and understood what fees we might raise up. Is it true that the study's done but we haven't gotten it?
I think there was some confusion there. To my recollection, council made a motion in 2022 or 2023 asking for a study to be done, and we've been working on it in that time. There had been draft studies circulated internally for review, but as soon as we had our study, we presented it to City Council.
Can we get a copy of the draft as it stands now?
Right, Adam Purcell, Interim Transportation Services Director. We distributed the draft study to council before the December 4th hearing on the ordinance.
The one of all the fees? Not just this one, but all my question is, it seems like we would have looked at the studies of the other fees in context with this, so we could see.
So we're talking about other impact fees administered by the city for
or other fees. Apparently, almost none of the fees have been raised in years, and based on public input, there was a study that was done on the other fees, and my point is that if we're making a decision on this one, it seems like we would look at the other in context so that we could see, instead of one at a time, out of context, so we would see what needs to be raised at once.
If I may, Dana Crosby, Collier City Attorney's Office. The studies to which you refer are the Land Development Code and Construction Fee studies, and those were item 66 on the agenda today, and they've been continued, but that's separate and apart from the impact fee study.
Councilwoman Hurtak.
It's a different department, so I have requested those as well from staff, so hopefully we'll
Just, you all have heard me say this before, not you all, because I've never really dealt with you all, but this administration has a reputation of not being transparent. And when information is not given like that, and it's not by you all, I'm just speaking out, it reinforces the idea that they're not transparent. And so I hope whoever's watching that might have that they'll circulate it to us so that, and the public, so the public can see it. Thank you.
Councilwoman Hurtak.
If, Ms. Gregory, if I'm correct, we need why is the word escaping me? A supermajority?
Yes.
For this vote? So I'm saying that we might need to hold this until we have Councilman Vieira based on the first reading. So before we get very far, I just wanted to bring that up.
I will entertain a motion.
I move that we move this item further down on the agenda.
Until the arrival of
Until
Councilman
the
Vieira.
arrival of Councilman Vieira.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak. Is there a second? We have a second from Councilman Carlson. All those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you very much. We will be back.
Okay, so if anybody, I know we have people here to speak to item 42. If you're here to speak to 42, it
Yes,
will be
sir.
heard when Councilman Vieira returns. Okay, very good. We are now at 43.
Hi, good afternoon. Dana Crosby Collier, City Attorney's Office. Eric Cotton, our Development Coordination Manager, is on the line as well in case you have any questions. We're here today on item 43. This is the Land Development Code Text Amendment regarding the Ybor City parking requirements. As you'll recall, since we've been talking about this since the summer, this is necessary due to recent changes in state law. I do have a PowerPoint. It's very brief if you would like me to present it. I also could, oh good, there we are. Okay, so, not getting cooperation. Next slide, please. I will use the Elmo. I came prepared. Wolf. Okay, here we go. Is that right? We'll go to Wolf.
Is there no clicker up there?
It's not working.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So as you know, each year we do our 2 cycles of publicly initiated text amendments. In January 2024, we had this Ybor parking standards and security amendment in that cycle. However, it got pulled out through the process. It came back separately from the January 2024 cycle, and council adopted it September 5th of 2024. Meanwhile, while we were doing all that, or actually after we did all that, as you know, the Senate adopted Senate Bill 180, the governor signed it, and part of Senate Bill 180 is that we cannot adopt any land development regulation that's more restrictive or burdensome. So we came to you in September to discuss the issues we had discovered with regard to the Ybor parking ordinance. We'd also been made aware of those from a local lawyer. And at that time, in October, you approved a resolution transmitting proposed language to the Planning Commission for consistency review. And they did find that our amendment is consistent with the comprehensive plan. So just to give you a real quick summary of what's before you today, essentially what we're doing is going back to what was in effect August 1, 2024. The ordinance that was in effect at that time, 2019-54. It restores the requirement that parking lots are staffed Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. However, it removes the requirement that each lot have a security guard, removes the requirement for principal use parking lot operators to submit annual operation and security plan to the city staff. BLC approvals go back to approval by the administrator rather than the board. And it also reverted landscape and buffer requirements to previous standards. And as Ms. Gregory alluded to, there is a bill that's been filed in the the Senate, Senate Bill 840. It's a bill that's seeking to correct some of the damage of Senate Bill 180. We're tracking it very closely. It does not have a companion yet. One of the good things Senate Bill 840 does this year in 2026 is it allows us to, the date for no more restrictive or burdensome amendments currently goes until October of 2027. It brings that back to July of 2026, which is really good, which means that all the things we put on hold in the last year, we'll be able to pull back off the shelves and bring them back to you, including the July 2024 cycle amendments we held back, including restoring the Seaboard parking language, and also it'll help us with our comp plan amendment update as well. So we do have our fingers crossed that Senate Bill 840 gets a companion, passes the House, passes the Senate in identical format, and goes to the governor for signature so that we can resume business as usual. But today, this is just first reading of our Ybor City parking requirements, taking them back to what we used to have.
Council have any questions? Councilwoman Hurtak.
I wanted to say thank you so much for the update on that, because this bill was one of the biggest, or this ordinance that we're having to replace was one of the most important ordinances that was used by cities to show the legislature that we are impeding on a public safety issue. This was something that I worked with TPD on for a long time. This is something that they wanted, and so the fact that we had to rescind it was pretty terrible and makes their job a lot harder. So I really look forward to being able to put this back in place, hopefully in July, instead of having to wait another year and a half. But in the meantime, there are no rules, so we have to put something in place. So I unfortunately understand, but I really do appreciate you bringing this forward.
Thank you.
Okay, no further questions? Is there anybody in the public that wishes to speak to this item? Hearing none? Oh, that's right, we had a Bailey. We had David Bailey. David Bailey, are you online? Thank you. David?
I'm online. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. And you?
Okay.
Okay, very good. Go ahead.
Thank you, Council. I understand that SB 180 has been a disaster for the public and the private sector, but rather than litigate and freeze the clock, the city attorney's office decided that it was too expensive and didn't do what a lot of other cities did, which was fight back. And as a result, we have 840 heading towards legislature, like Ms. Crosby Collier mentioned. But that being said, I think there was an opportunity for us to stand up and not just go along for the ride. I was also disturbed to hear yet again the city attorney's office incorrectly state the powers and authorities of Mr. Dennis Fernandez, the BLC administrator, when describing what they call a rollback text amendment. And we asked the city attorney's office to give clarification to this misstatement, and they sent a section of the code that I really think that they and you should read again, because I can understand the difference between the word review and the word approve. So in layman's terms, Mr. Fernandez and staff are instructed to review applications, but not approve applications unless they're for nominal things like paint colors or fencing. Only the BLC commission, not staff, has the power to offer variances and approve entire site plans. Think of it this way. If the staff did have those powers, why would you have a commission at all? It pains me to say that Mr. Fernandez has defied the Ybor design guidelines, the Department of Interior standards, and has approved variances without public hearing. And the result is without question. If you stop and you walk around historic Ybor, you will see the gashes that have been left in our landmark historic district. Knowing that Mr. Fernandez is a good man and an advocate for historic preservation, we can only assume that a superior instructed him to do what has been done. But at the end of the day, he's the one signing off on these site plans that defy the code. So what am I asking you today? I'm asking you to do what has been avoided for way too long, which is to meet with our neighborhood association one-on-one and see for yourself. Number two, use your power to stop Mr. Fernandez and other staff from approving site plans without public hearing, which is a violation of code. Number three, I've said this so many times and I have to say it again, not one good neighbor notice went out to our neighborhood association regarding this process. Not the September meeting, not the planning commission meeting, and not this meeting today. And that is shameful. It's absolutely shameful. And what we got in response was, that we've complied with the code, which, as you all know, who sits around and reads every legal notice in the back of La Gaceta? Not us. This is very easy to communicate with our neighborhood association. And again, the city fails to do so.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. Okay. Hearing nobody else from the public wishes to speak to this item. Hearing none.
talking about 42, right?
43.
43.
The parking, we're rolling back and pending the outcome. We have a motion to close from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from? Anybody? Second? If you don't want to close the hearing, what else do you have to say?
But can I, he just said that there was not proper notice of the community and areas affected by this.
I'll let staff answer that question.
Sure.
Public
Happy to
notice?
do that. Dana Crosby, Collier City Attorney's Office. With regard to Land Development Code amendments, which we do twice a year, our notice requirement is pursuant to Chapter 166.041 of the Florida statutes. That's standard notice for the adoption of ordinances that all cities must comply with. Now, there are good neighbors, as Mr. Bailey mentioned, there are good neighbor notice provisions in our code, and the code directs our applicants specifically in certain cases to provide good neighbor notice. For example, BLC cases, ARC, VRB, HPC, SU2, SU2AB, grand tree removal, review hearing, and DEs. With regard to our standard land development code amendments, we do not provide notice individually to all the citizens. We provide it in accordance with 166.041 of the statutes.
And just to be clear, this is the intent is to get us in compliance with Florida's statute and law, and our hope is that this is going to be changed and we're going to be able to roll this back here shortly, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. We just need to put something back on the books, since right now, according to Senate Bill 180, anything that's more restrictive or burdensome is what they call void ab initio, which means it was void from the minute it was enacted. So since that was enacted, we haven't had anything on the books, and this is an effort to restore exactly what we had on August 1st, 2024.
Right. So, and again, absent this, we have nothing.
Right now, we have nothing.
Yeah, okay, just want to make sure. You had something else?
Yeah, I think you just answered my question.
Okay.
I mean, for the public, the question,
That's
if we don't approve this, then there's nothing to regulate, right? So it's worse if we do nothing.
Yeah, this is the best choice of bad. Yeah, that's, okay.
For
So
now,
we-
this is the best.
So we had a motion to close from Councilman Maniscalco. Can I have a second? Second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And we already did public comment. That came and went. We already had an opportunity for that. And we had public hearing, we had public comment, then we had an opportunity for public comment from online on top of that. And then after that, I called again, so I actually called it twice. Yeah. Okay,
Well, I'll leave it at that, but I'll withdraw a motion.
okay. Okay, so the hearing is closed. I'm going to who would like to read this?
I'll read it.
Okay, Councilman Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 43, petition, file number 2025, Chapter 8/27. Ordinance being presented for first reading consideration. Ordinance in the City of Tampa, Florida relating to the publicity-initiated text amendment making revision to the City of Tampa Code of Ordinances, amending Section 27-178 parking requirements, providing for severability, repealing all ordinance or parts of ordinance in conflict, providing an effective date.
We have a motion from Councilman Miranda. We have a second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, we have to record the vote, sorry.
For first reading?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was the first reading. I'm already confused. I don't need you to confuse me anymore.
And if I may, I just want to thank Gloria Moretta 20-some years ago for working on this.
There we go. Okay,
All right.
so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it unanimously. Thank you.
Motion carried unanimously. Second reading and adoption will be held on January 8th, 2026 at 10 o'clock a.m. in City Council Chambers, 315 East Kennedy Boulevard, 3rd floor, Tampa, Florida, 33602.
Thank you. Item number 44.
Good afternoon, Rebecca Johns, Legal Department. This is the second public hearing for the second amendment to the USF Campus Development Agreement. The first public hearing was held on December 4th, 2025. A few refreshers. This amendment is a result of changes that were made to USF's Campus Master Plan, which was approved by the state. The Campus Master Plan amendment added the stadium and some beds to the plan. This amendment to the development agreement only addresses the impact of the development to public facilities and services. This amendment does not approve the uses allowed on the land, as that is outside of the authority of the city pursuant to Florida statutes. Also, this amendment only addresses the impacts relating to the stadium and the increase in beds. This does not address any proposed future development of other USF land. I won't go through the specifics of the amendment as those were discussed in the first hearing. However, I'm here to answer any questions, and USF is also here to answer any questions that you may have. And also, since this is the second public hearing, a vote is required today.
So, I mean, just for the future to head things off, I want to make sure people understood what you just described. The authority of Tampa City Council regulating the future land use at USF. Can you state that again, so
Yes.
people in the back can hear?
So there's a specific statute that addresses campus master plans. That statute specifically states that this process is exempt from Chapter 163, which would be land use. The only portion of 163 that's applicable to this process is the notice requirements. So the statute goes through to state that the city's only role is to comment on and address the effect of the development to public facilities and services. So that's water, wastewater, sewer, transportation, stuff like that. But we do not have the ability to say, yes, we agree with what your proposed improvements are.
Thank you. Councilman Carlson.
Yeah, and Ms. Johns helped me with a response that I sent to some of the constituents who emailed, so thank you for that. Just to say it another way, as you said, the universities have a master plan. They're not under the comprehensive plan. They're not under our code. So instead of coming before city council to get that changed, they go to the state. And so all those decisions and the ones that come are made by the state, not by us. And so if anybody disagrees with it, they need to go follow the state. And you can easily Google it and find all the rules regarding that. But the other thing that you said to us in our briefing is, like you said, this is just about the infrastructure connectivity, and they even provide their own water, right? And some of their...
So for this, yes, they use on-campus wells.
Yeah.
There are certain portions of the campus that I think have city services, and that's addressed in the original development agreement. But for this, it's on-campus wells.
Yeah, but the other thing that you told us in our briefing is that if we turn down this essentially provision of services, the state can then, and the law said, I read the law myself, the state can supersede us. They can overrule it and force us to do it anyway.
That's correct.
So it would be a wasted effort to turn it down.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilman Maniscalco, would you like to read the resolution?
I can just move the resolution.
Move the resolution, it's fine, yeah.
Yeah, just move the resolution for 44, DA 25.
Oh, you're right, sorry.
I'll hold that.
Okay, that we have public comment for. Anybody in the public wishes to speak to item 44? You get to your big moment.
Good afternoon, Stephanie Pointer. As far as stormwater, wastewater, blah, blah, blah goes, it's my understanding that this master agreement does not change the flue for the claw. Okay, as long as it doesn't, I'm okay with that. Because once we start changing the flue for the claw, then we have a problem. Because currently, the folks who live around that golf course get flooded. Currently, the people who live around that golf course get flooded. That was 2 years ago before we had 2 hurricanes back to back. And no, you do have to pass this, but I want to make sure that everybody up there understands that, and we're confirming that we're not changing the flue for that particular piece of property at this point. Not only that, it's my understanding that there's Native Americans buried under that golf course. So, and yes, that might be a little off base, but you need to keep that in the back of your head because personally, I have a huge problem with USF becoming a developer, which is exactly what they intend to do eventually. And I don't have a problem with the football field. But that's going to impact stormwater and wastewater if we do something there that doesn't belong there anyway. Thank you.
Is anybody else in the public that wishes to speak? Yes, ma'am, would you like to?
I just want to clarify, as I stated earlier, this only applies to the stadium. This does not apply to any other proposed future development.
Thank you.
Move to close.
Okay, a motion to close from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from? Second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. And I believe, Councilman Maniscalco, you moved the resolution. Who has the second? Councilman Miranda seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you so much. Item number 45.
Ross Amos, Available Coordination, presenting file number VAC
Hold on one second. We need you-
20-06.
Hold on, there you go. Okay, we got you now. Thank you.
Again, Ross Sammons, Development Coordination, presenting file number VAC 20-06. This is an ordinance amending a previously approved vacating ordinance number 2021-6, which was passed in January 14th, 2021. That was a vacating ordinance vacating two portions of right-of-way located south of 26th Avenue, north of Plymouth Street, and east of Talaferro Avenue and west of Nebraska Avenue. The previously approved ordinance had certain conditions, and one of those was a 5-year reverter in order for the applicant to commence vertical construction within a 5-year time period. This ordinance being presented today is to amend that condition and add an additional 5-year reverter with the ordinance today. I'm available if you have any questions.
Does council have any questions? Councilwoman Hurtak.
5 years is a long time. Why hasn't anything been done?
Well, I think that would be to the applicant.
Yeah.
I'll let the applicant
Okay.
answer that question, yes.
Okay, we'll hold that question for the applicant. Applicant.
Good afternoon, City Council. Ryan Manassi with Johnson Pope, Director of Planning, 400 North Ashley Drive, Suite 3100. As Ross, I appreciate his staff report and his presentation. It's pretty straightforward, our request, and I'll answer your questions, Councilwoman Hurtak. We're simply seeking to amend that reverter clause again to add that additional 5 years. And just to provide a brief context, the subject right-of-way is vacated currently, and we've been diligently working to advance the redevelopment of the property. In fact, you might recall me being here the last couple of times. One was for a comprehensive plan map amendment, as well as a Euclidean rezoning to CG this past last year, and I believe the end of 2024. Both were approved by City Council. As you know, these processes do take time, and we separated our comprehensive plan map amendment from the rezoning as council likes as well. So that adds additional time. We do want to redevelop this property in a manner consistent with city codes and the community goals. Some additional information that may help answer your question is this property was originally rezoned twice in 2020, 2021 through a PD process. Obviously, COVID hit us in 2020. The market changed, things changed, that delayed the process. And then when we got involved, that's when we looked at the property holistically and what was the most flexible uses and this, that, and the other, because the previous PD was only approved for multifamily. So our comprehensive plan map amendment, as well as the Euclidean rezoning, opened up the flexibility for this property. Hopefully that answers most of that question, but I can elaborate if that answers the majority of your question, or?
Yes. Do you have a map?
Sure, I could pull, and also, the current property owner has been paying taxes, obviously maintaining this area currently. I know 5 years seems like a lot, but council, as you know, just as your last items, we have LDC updates, we have comprehensive plan updates. Obviously, Senate bill has kind of moved that around a little bit, but all that put together, 5 years isn't a lot to start vertical construction. And also, I just want to point out, I did research just this last year, and this reverter clause is not something that's really used anymore. I mean, it goes back to the time when I was at the city. And I could tell you in all of 2025, there was no reverter clauses placed on any plan development rezonings. So I know the 5 years may sound long. I've confirmed with my client last night that he is ready and willing and will redevelop this property within that time frame. So,
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, to be clear, it's not 5, it's 10 now.
No, it's 5.
But I mean, it was 5 and then it's another 5, so it's 10.
Well, it expires January.
But I'm saying that you had 10 years.
Total.
You have 10 years to develop the property. That's a long time.
Correct, but those issues that came up, COVID, you know, the 2 rezoning processes alone through a PD process, you're talking 6-8 months easy if everything went smoothly. I mean, that starts to eat away that 5 years really quickly.
Well, the irony is, I think this council probably, you know how we are about alleys, or these right-of-ways. I don't know if this council would have approved the vacation to begin with, so that's.
Well, and to that point, Council Chairman, it's actually a dead-end street.
Right.
So I don't know if you would approve that, that's, I mean, in this case, when it is developed, it's gonna be a CG use adjacent to residential uses, which will provide a nice buffer.
Yeah.
Rather than an unimproved right-of-way.
Point taken.
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Hurtak.
And just so you know, I mean, if you put the map back up, that section just north, that's Burrell Park.
Yes.
So this is definitely an area we want to see some movement.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to.
Problematic part.
That's why I wanted to put the map up, to really remind people of where we're talking about.
Okay, very good. Is there any other questions from the applicant? Is there anybody in the public that wishes to speak to this item? Did I have anybody on this one? No, I did not. Okay. We have a motion to close from Councilman Miranda, second from Councilwoman Hurtak. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
We're going this way, so.
Yeah, we are. Councilwoman Hurtak.
File number VAC 20-06, ordinance being presented for first reading consideration, an ordinance of the City of Tampa, Florida, amending ordinance number 2021-6, passed and ordained on January 14th, 2021, which vacated, closed, discontinued, and abandoned 2 rights-of-way located south of 26th Avenue, north of Plymouth Street, east of Taliaferro Avenue, and west of Nebraska Avenue, as more fully described below, to extend the 5-year reverter clause 5 additional years to allow more time to commence vertical construction, repealing conflicts, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it unanimously. Clerk.
Motion carried unanimously with Vieira being absent at vote. Second reading and adoption will be held on January 8th, 2026 at 10:00 a.m. in City Council Chambers, 315 East Kennedy Boulevard, 3rd floor, Tampa, Florida, 33602.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to open the 1:30 public hearings? We have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco, second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it unanimously. The 1:30 public hearings are open. If you are here to speak on items 46 or 47, please stand, raise your right hand, and be sworn in by our clerk.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to present is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Item number 46.
Good afternoon. Kamaria Pettis-Mackel from the legal department. Item number 46 is a review hearing in regards to the city application SU1 2554 for the property located at 2901 North Albany Avenue. The petitioner for this matter is Seema Patel, and Ms. Catherine Coyle is here from Boggs Engineering representing the petitioner. The request regarding this SU1 application was to have a dwelling multifamily units. Staff denied the application on October 10th, 2025, on the basis that the application does not meet the specific criteria in Code Section 27-132, Part 1, which is it does not have access to an arterial or collector road. City Council, you're reviewing in your packet right now. I've provided the proposed rules of procedure for City Council to use in order to conduct this hearing. I provided a copy of Code Section 27-61 that governs the review hearing process. And the staff report includes copies or information regarding Code Section 27-132, which provides the 2 specific requirements for a multifamily dwelling unit. It also includes Code Section 27-129, general standards for special uses, and Code Section 27-130, which is regarding conditions and safeguards that City Council can impose. I've also provided on the last page sample motions regarding this matter. As I previously stated, Code Section 27-61 governs this type of hearing. It's a review hearing. Specifically, Code Section 27-61 subsection J3 states that this hearing is a de novo hearing, which means that you're sitting in the shoes of the zoning administrator. You can accept new evidence and new information in order to determine what you would like to do with this application. City staff should be online to provide an overview of the application and the decision of staff and why they denied the application. At the conclusion of the hearing, Code Section 27-61 states that City Council can affirm the decision of the zoning administrator and deny the SU1 application, or you can overturn the decision of the zoning administrator and therefore approve the SU1 application. And I'm available if there's any questions about the process.
Thank you. May I ask, has council had any ex parte communications on this item that they would like to have received and filed? Hearing none, no. Okay, city staff, presentation. Well, we can't hear you, you're muted. You show where she's muted at?
Good afternoon, City Council.
There you go. We can hear you now. Thank you. Start with your name, please.
Laura Marley, Zoning Coordinator. If I could share my screen, please.
I have no idea what that entails. Oh, it's coming up. Okay. There we go.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see your screen now. Thank you.
Okay, very good. This is a petition for review for SU1 2554. The petitioner and property owner is Seema Patel. The agent is Catherine Coyle with Boggs Engineering. The property address is 2901 North Albany Avenue. The zoning is commercial intensive, and the special use request is for dwelling multiple family. Here's an overview of the property and where it is in location. Here's a copy of the site plan. Here is a two-story multifamily residential building. It shows the parking and the access off of West St. Joseph Street. The property is shown in the blue with the pink outline, and you can see where it is on St. Joseph Street and North Albany, and to the north, the black line, that's West Columbus Drive, and that is a minor arterial. For the dwelling multifamily, the special use criteria has two. One of them is it has direct access to an arterial collector. So it does not comply with that A of the code. It is located at the corner of North Albany and West St. Joseph Street, which are classified as local streets. B, it does meet the dimensional criteria of RM24. It is in the West Tampa overlay, and Urban Design has reviewed it and found it consistent with the overlay standards. And if you have any questions, I am here.
Does council have any questions? Councilwoman Hurtak.
Yes, is this a property that is already existing?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Applicant?
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Catherine Coyle. I'm with Boggs Engineering, located at 607 South Alexander Street, Plant City. Before I begin the presentation, I do want to read the opening statement from the property owner from her own words. That is located on the narrative report that was handed out. I purchased this property in December 2024 with the intention of fixing it up and renting it out to working class people needing affordable housing. It is her intent to meet the affordable housing definition in 2743, which caps it at 120% of the AMI and 30% of the adjusted monthly gross income. And I looked up those numbers if you want to know what they are. I soon discovered that this individual, I hired the person who sold me the property to do the work of the remodeling of the structure. I soon discovered this individual was performing work without permits. Again, she purchased it in December of 2024, and she received her first citation in February of 2025. It was brought to us late June, early July of 2025, and then we subsequently filed for the special use and followed through this process. It does take a little while to get to council on an appeal, on a petition for review. Around the same time, I was notified by the city that a prior owner had converted the property from a duplex to a fourplex multifamily without obtaining the proper special use designation under the CI zoning district. Based upon my research, the building was constructed in 1966 with 2 dwelling units upstairs and 1 office downstairs, which is a mixed-use building. Today, it's considered a storefront residential, office commercial. Sometime around 2006, the building began operating as a fourplex multifamily with 2 units upstairs, 2 units downstairs. So approximately almost 20 years. My understanding is that is how the building has been operated until the time I purchased it. I'm seeking approval of the special use 1 to allow the building to continue being operated as multifamily in a CI district. This will allow me to continue fixing up the building, continue operating as a fourplex structure. My goal is to have this property renovated and occupied as soon as possible to provide the much-needed affordable housing in West Tampa. This report goes on and goes over all of the comp plan policies and the different code provisions that the property is compliant with. I'll go through the presentation really fast. Just as an overview, it's CC 35, Community Commercial 35. That is in red. R35, which is 35 units per acre, surrounds it. You'll notice that it is not the last property of CC 35. There's actually an area of CC 35 just to the south as well. CC 35 allows up to 30 units per acre by the standard calculation and 35 units per acre with a bonus agreement. Using just the standard, it allows up to 5 units on the property. This is only proposing 4, which is 80% of what is actually allowed under the standard maximum and within the existing building. It also allows a 1.0 FAR. West Tampa is in an urban village, so it does allow using FAR as opposed to the density factor. That would allow 7,488 square feet of floor area. This building is only 2,142 square feet, which is only 28% of the maximum floor area allowed. There are no bonuses sought. She is simply looking to use the existing structure and renovate it. For reference, if there were a bonus agreement, that would allow up to 6 units or 14,976 square feet. I did highlight, by the way, just for your reference, this is the boundary of the West Tampa Overlay Business Core. Under the business core and the overlay, parking is actually not required for neighborhood serving commercial uses, up to and including restaurants, eating and drinking establishments up to 3,000 square feet. Zoning in the West Tampa overlay, it is zone CI, and you can see that the red pattern follows the land use category. These are just some example permitted uses to give you context of intensity that would be allowed on this property. And this is the issue that really is at play before you, is the request for the waiver of the access to an arterial collector. As a CI zoned property, she could reestablish this as storefront commercial. She could reestablish this as a commercial use, as is. And it wouldn't be required to access an arterial collector because it only has access to local streets. Professional medical veterinary office, clinic, hotel, motel, small or large kennels, light manufacturing, which is important, and I'll explain why later. Vehicle sales and repair, truck rental, retail sales, restaurant, and so on. The full list is actually in the report that I gave you. Site meets applicable provisions of West Tampa overlay, specifically with the alley access, and the alley is to be paved per City of Tampa standards, and the front setback average complies with the block average as required by code. Surrounding uses, and this gets back to the light manufacturing, directly north, which actually used to be connected to this property, there's a 1,118 square foot building. The lot is 6,790 square feet. It too has a partial lot across the alley that it has access to. To the east, immediately to the east on the other side of the small parking area is a 1,500 square foot building, 4,790 square foot lot, no alley access. To the west, immediately across the street is a church, 2,094 square feet, 4,092 square foot lot. Its parking is accessed from St. Joseph's. It's accessed from and along. There's not really a defined parking area. It's quite frankly a lot of dirt that goes into the property and broken asphalt. To the south is light manufacturing. It's a cabinet maker. That building also was built in 1954, I believe. It's a 7,009 square foot building, which is pretty substantial, 10,450 square foot lot. And parking access is also from and along St. Joseph Street, which is a local street. The historical use, it was built in 1966, the existing building, according to the property appraiser. It was built as a mixed use with 2 residential units above, with office below. The 1966 Polk Directory highlights that there were 2 people living upstairs, 2901 and 2901, these 2 different individuals in those 2 apartments. 2901A was a car cleaning business on the first floor. I did give you an example. Obviously, we don't have pictures from a long, long time ago. However, Google Street View gives you back to 2007, which, as she noted, her research showed 2006 it was converted. You can see that there are 4 mailboxes on the front of the building all the way through 07 up to the current picture, which was available, which was 2023. This is the site plan, and you have it before you as well. Existing conditions that are to remain on the property: the existing building, built in 1966, 2 one-bedroom units upstairs and 2 one-bedroom units downstairs. There are 6 on-site trees that are preserved. There are, 30-inch oak, 24-inch oak, 2 18-inch oaks, and 2 palms in the rear. The proposed improvements are paving the alley, adding in the 4 paved spaces with the ADA space, as well as adding 4 new type 1 shade trees and 1 palm back here. The special use criteria mention of 27-132, you'll notice this is the waiver requested because of the access issue to a collector or arterial. And then the second criteria that it does meet the dimensional standards as required with the West Tampa overlay. Looking at the general standards under 27-129, specifically that the use ensures public health, safety, and general welfare. We noted that it meets all the special use criteria with the exception of the access. It does show vehicular access to and from the alley, which is essentially required under West Tampa overlay. The unimproved alley will be improved, which is a benefit to the city and the surrounding block. The second one is the use which is listed as special use in the district is to be located and complies with all required regulations, which it does. I did note there was a DE1 that was filed for the slight parking reduction from 7 to 4 as affordable housing, and the staff did approve it with a condition that the special use is approved. It did meet all other standards. The use is compatible with contiguous and surrounding property. I noted that the existing building is compatible in size and surrounding properties and serves a transition of use and intensity between the heavy commercial uses along Columbus and the light manufacturing to the south, transitioning between that and the church and the single family on the north and west. And as far as being in compliance and conformity with the Tampa Comprehensive Plan, I did cite several policies here under city planning strategy, urban villages, urban neighborhoods, residential redevelopment. All of these speak to emphasizing a compact and mixed-use nature of the built environment for these villages and neighborhoods, maintaining consistent overall setback from the public right-of-way, which it meets the West Tampa overlay. This one at the bottom in particular, residential development and redevelopment, policy 9.2.5 specifically says emphasis should be placed on the rehabilitation and recycling of existing building stock, which this meets that provision. Continuing with number 4, multifamily residential 9.6.1, encourage the development and retention of diversity of multifamily housing types. And then mixed income residential housing development under 9.9.1. Within the new area, downtown areas of West Tampa, which is specifically called out. Also, this number 5 is the use will not establish a precedent or encourage more intensive or incompatible uses. This building is existing and it's compatible in size with the surrounding properties, as I previously mentioned. It's kind of right in the middle at 2142 square feet. It is consistent with a single family house anymore. The proposed use for multi-family units is less intense than those other uses allowed, mentioned before, and with the underlying land use, maximum density and intensity. With that, we do believe it meets all the provisions of the code, and I'm available for any questions, and we respectfully request your approval and waiver of that requirement.
Does council have any questions? Hearing none. Staff, do you have anything else to add? Are you there?
Yes. Laura Marley, zoning coordinator. After you make a motion and which way you go, I would like to have a chance to ask council a question.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, well, we're gonna hear from the public. I'm trying to figure out exactly how that would fit into this hearing. This would be your last opportunity to provide information, staff.
Oh, gosh. It is not, Laura Marley, zoning coordinator. It's not information about this application. It's information that I'd like to discuss about this special use 1 process.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. Is there anybody in the public that wishes to speak to this item?
I have one question. I want to ask.
Or of staff?
Ms. Coyle.
Or the
No,
app?
Ms. Coyle.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know, are these separate meters and separate water meters, or one for the whole 4 units?
There's actually 4 separate electrical meters, and there is 1 meter, and she splits it 4 ways. She divides the cost up over the 4.
4 electric and 1 water, is that what I heard?
Correct.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody from the public that wishes to speak?
Good afternoon, Stephanie Pointer. As somebody who owns a property that looks almost exactly like this, but it's in Kentucky, and kind of the same setup. I'm responsible for the water, and they all have separate electric bills, and Michigan. It's kind of discouraging to see, and I actually sent you guys a TikTok this week with talking about these kind of properties that they're missing middle, and we are shutting them down. And I understand staff can't, it just befuddles me, but staff couldn't make the decision to approve something that would be commonsensical, but yet they approve things that are absolutely nonsensical. So, we've talked about those kind of things before, but I absolutely think that you should approve this. I think that the landlord bought it with the best intentions to provide housing that's going to be reasonably priced and, do with what the property looks like it should do. And obviously she got shaken down by somebody who was telling her that they were doing everything the way that they were supposed to, which this won't be the last time we talk about that either. But I absolutely think you should approve this project. It's a property that I would have bought thinking that I could rent it out, especially if it's got separate electric meters. Now, if it was all on one electric, that'd be a different conversation. But with it being on separate electric meters, that shows you that at some point in time, TECO must have thought it was legal, because they will not go out and put a separate electric meter on much of anything. Thank you very much.
Befuddle is the word of the day. Okay, I'm assuming that you do not have a rebuttal, since the only thing that came after your testimony was positive in your life.
Catherine Coyle again for the record. No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, can I get a motion to close the public hearing? Well, she was not about this item. She was just talking about this. Yeah. A motion to close? We have a motion to close from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed? Ayes have it. Who would like to read this? Councilman Maniscalco.
I'd like to make a motion to overturn the zoning administrator's denial. I move to approve the application for SU 125-54 for the property located at 2901 North Albany Avenue because the petitioner provided competent and substantial evidence to waive the specific requirement in the City of Tampa Code Section 27-132 that the property have direct access to an arterial or collector street as shown on the major street map for the following reasons. The following reasons are, look at the presentation, it was so detailed. I don't know what I don't think she missed anything. I mean, everything from tree preservation, Councilmember Miranda asked about the electric meters and the water meters, the discussion regarding, well, the comments of the missing middle, the AMI, which was brought up at the beginning of the presentation, it's addressing housing.
We put in land use policy 9.2.5, emphasis should be placed on the rehabilitation and recycling of existing building stock.
Yeah, then what was that, land use?
Yeah, land use policy 9.2.5.
9.2.5. It's true. I mean, this building is older, but is being reused and repurposed, specifically addressing the need of housing in the city of Tampa. So that's my motion.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco. We had a second from Councilwoman Hurtek. Any further discussion? Okay,
I just want to echo what Mr. Maniscalco said. Although it doesn't meet the criteria per se, that building's been there for a long, long time, and it's been operating that way for a long, long time. Maybe before we even had those satellites that go by and tell you what you have there. And for me to pick this one out, and although I may not like it 100%, I can tell you there's another 10 buildings in West Tampa just like this that are operating today.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe me, I'll take you to them.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, please record your vote.
We can do a voice vote.
This is yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Laura, you had a question for, oh, I'm sorry, clerk, read that and then I'll get to you, Laura.
Motion carried unanimously. Second reading and adoption will be held on January 8th, 2026 at 10 o'clock a.m. in City Council Chambers, 315 East Kennedy Boulevard, 3rd floor, Tampa, Florida, 33602.
Okay.
Thank you, council. Happy holidays.
Absolutely. Hold on a second, Councilman Vieira. Laura, you had a question for us?
Yes, Council. Laura Marley, Development Coordination. As you know, that you hear quite a lot of these special uses for multifamily that don't have access to minor or arterials. And you have overturned quite a few of them. So what staff would like to do with your approval is add it to the 2025 cycle so we could possibly amend the section of the code. We have to follow the code. We can't use our judgment on this, so we have to follow the code. That's why you see many of these petition for reviews because of this criteria. So if you're okay with letting us add that to the cycle, we would like to proceed with that.
Well, let's get a consensus of, I can't do anything right official. We could do something in new business and suggest that, but can I get a census of council? Would that be appropriate?
Again, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, what is exactly the request?
This council is consistently overturning the decision of the administration on these issues of lack of access to arterial roads for this type of development. She wants to be able to add this to the cycle.
I thought that had come to council before. Maybe I'm mistaken.
I don't know. No, I'm here. I'm seeing a shaking. I'm seeing a head shake. No.
Okay. I think it may warrant discussion.
I say this would be a new business item, but I just wanted to give her solace that we would take this if this was the will of the.
This is not taking it personal, I'll say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Is she saying to include it because we overturned so many to just
Right.
make it, just take it out of the system completely?
If the rule keeps getting overturned, why don't we change the rule?
You'll always find an exception.
Yeah, that's the thing. Each case is unique, and we should listen to the public. I mean, not every neighborhood is the same, and I would avoid that. I know we overturn a lot, but not 100%.
So Laura, can we take an IOU for future discussion and not deal with that today? And we'll it's noted. And if staff wants to go through the process and present that, maybe we can look at that. But again, yes, and this council definitely understands that when staff is making these determinations, they're making the determinations based on the authority that they're given, and then the council has an opportunity to be able to inject sometimes more common sense that you guys can't do because of your own restrictions. So we understand that, and please don't take any of this stuff personal, because we definitely we get it.
I just want to bring to your attention, since I've been here in about 5 years,
Right.
council has never approved one of these, just for your awareness. And Ms. Feely is on the line. I don't know if Ms. Feely wanted to add something to that before you close this discussion.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think we're going to move on the agenda. I hear what you're saying. If this wants to be brought up at another time, we can go through this cycle and bring it up for council's attention and discussion. But yeah.
Okay, thank you, council, for listening. I appreciate it.
Okay, very good. Clerk.
For clarification purposes, blame my mind, it's break time. But clarification on this item, there's no second reading, it's a review hearing.
Well, that's what confused me about when befuddled is the word of the day, because when Councilwoman Hurtak said that to me, I'm going, where did that go? But then again, my mind's blown too, so anybody could convince me that anything is true right now. So thank you.
Again, because what the decision then is final by city council, of course, it's subject to court review ultimately, but what was the decision again, please?
Motion by Maniscalco, seconded by Hurtak, that the motion was to overturn the decision of the zoning administrator.
Thank you, and that's for the public's
And that was
information.
That was unanimous consent.
Thank you very much.
Or unanimous, not consent, unanimous. Okay, here we go. Item 47.
And before
I'm sorry,
yes, sir.
Councilman.
No worries, sir. So I wanted to clarify with regards to item 62. I spoke to Parks and Recreation on it. I will, if you'd like me to do it now, Mr. Chairman, I can do it when it properly comes up. Continue that to January 8th. They had relied on the fact that I was out.
We haven't dealt with this yet. We'll deal with it when it comes up.
Absolutely. I just wanted to let you all know of that. And there was one other thing I was going to say, and I forgot. Oh, yes, I wanted to make sure. So Mr. Cohen was put on the charter
Yes.
review. Well, okay, good. Just making sure. Thank you so much.
Cohen and Allison Hewitt, because Jason withdrew. Yes. Okay. 47.
Good afternoon, Kamaria Pettismackle from the Legal Department. Item number 47 is regarding City Council's consideration of the recommended order from a hearing officer for a review hearing regarding FDN 25-87 for the property located at 58 Albermarle Avenue. The review hearing for this matter was held on September 5th, 2025. So unlike the previous matter that you just heard, the review hearing already took place. The hearing officer for this matter was Derek Schroth. The petitioners for this matter are Edward Moore and Angela Effinger, and they are represented by Truett Gardner and Addie Clark, who are present. The petitioners for the matter filed a formal decision application seeking determination regarding the proposed reorientation of the property and lot split. The zoning administrator denied the request to the proposed reorientation of the property and lot split based upon the application not meeting their criteria in Code Section 27-161. At the conclusion of the review hearing that was held by Mr. Schroth, the hearing officer filed a recommended order approving the petition and overturning the decision of the zoning administrator, therefore granting the petitioner's request. We are now at the phase, according to City of Tampa Code Section 27-61, for City Council to consider the recommended order. And I have a couple of slides, and I'll put them on the Wolf just to explain where we are. According to 27-61, subsection J1E3i, City Council may adopt the recommended order as final, reject the recommended order, or modify it. Furthermore, the code states City Council may not reject or modify any findings of fact reached by the hearing officer. There's more information on the slide regarding further action City Council can do. If City Council rejects or modifies a conclusion of law, it must state with particularity in the final order its reasons and must make a finding that its substitution of a conclusion of law is as or more reasonable than that which was rejected or modified. So, as I previously stated, the hearing officer filed a recommended order overturning the zoning administrator's decision. I have provided a copy of the recommended order to City Council. Additional step that City Council can take according to Code Section 27-61 is entertaining requests for oral arguments. If there are exceptions, if there was a motion for exceptions that was filed regarding this matter. The city did not file requests for oral arguments or exceptions regarding this. So there are no requests for oral arguments. The code does say that City Council may open this hearing on your own motion, but the city has not provided any requests for exceptions or oral argument regarding this matter. So essentially not challenging the request or the findings of the hearing officer. So with that, if you have any questions, I'm available, but you have the recommended order.
I want to just be clear so that we understand exactly what our task is. Without opening up anything for oral arguments, we're to take the findings of fact and conclusions of law in this document, make a determination based on what we find in this document, whether we would uphold it or reject it. Is that correct?
Well, that is correct, but the city has not provided any basis for you to additionally argue against it, unless you find that on your own.
Mr. Shelby.
What you have in front of you is a recommended order, and it has findings of fact and conclusions of law and a recommendation. If you find flaws within it, there are no exceptions to this filed by any party for this decision. No one is requesting oral argument. No one is requesting to be heard regarding challenging it. That being said, the code does provide you, under your own motion, if you find flaws in it, then there are certain things you have to point out as a motion to open it up for oral argument, and then you have to state that on the record, and then you have to then, after taking public comment, be limited to what you can do with regard to findings of fact and conclusions of law, as Ms. Pettis-Mackle stated to you. If you want, I can read the section verbatim so you can follow that, but basically it comes down to whether you're challenging a finding of fact or a conclusion of law. And a reminder again, Council, there is no request for oral argument based on the fact that no exceptions have been filed by any party.
Okay, so I think it would be appropriate for us to take a 5-minute pause to let council review the documents, and let's go through, review the documents, review the conclusions of law and the findings of fact and the recommendation.
And Mr. Chairman, may I request something? Just
please.
has nothing to do with this hearing, that as soon as this hearing's done, I be recognized on a calendared item that Mr. Shelby just brought to my attention, which in the middle of my crazy day, I neglected to do something on. So when this hearing's done, thank you.
Okay, yeah, and just FYI for the public, when this is done, since we have a full council back, we're going to go to 42. Just FYI. Okay, so it is now 2:54. Let's go to 3:05. So we will reconvene at 3:05. You can sit here or mosey around and review your documents.
You have to do ask, I just ask you don't discuss it outside.
Don't discuss it outside.
Thank you. Oh, with each other.
Yeah. No ex parte communication.
No ex parte communication.
Motion carried unanimously with Herb being absent at vote.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we're past that. Okay, so okay, go ahead, because we're waiting for Councilwoman Hurtak to get 42.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So on item 49, this was, again, a lot of things on my mind today, so to speak. This was supposed to come up after lunch, and I don't know what the pleasure of council is, if there's some issue where we can hear it now. I believe that the gentleman is waiting online, I believe, and I know our friends from Local 754 are here, and Fire Chief Tripp, I'm sure, is waiting as well. So again, I don't know what the pleasure of council is on this.
Well, we need to get to 42 first, and then I'll tell you what, I'll entertain that. But I also understand there are people here that have been waiting for a long time for 55 and 56, and I mean, so everybody's waiting this whole thing.
Yep, just raising it, sir. That's all.
This day's a mess.
I didn't bring it up in the beginning.
Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's go back. We're going to reconvene on 42. I know we started that, staff.
Good afternoon, Council. Emma Gregory, Legal Department. We are here for item number 42. I'm going to go over briefly what I spoke about earlier.
Very briefly. Very briefly.
Yeah. So, okay, we're here for the second reading. We had first reading on December 4th, 2025. This ordinance adopts the December 2025 impact fee update study, makes a finding of extraordinary circumstances, replaces Exhibit 1 of Chapter 25 with new fees phased in over 4 years, and makes the effective date July 1, 2026, per my substitution ordinance that was sent to you earlier this week. There was some correspondence that council received that our consultant, Catherine Tellez, is prepared to speak on, if that is council's pleasure. Otherwise, to adopt the ordinance in this form, we would need a 2/3 vote of council to approve it. So please, if you have any questions, we are here.
Does council have any questions of staff? No. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. I think we could all do the math. Oh, for your own. Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. Is there anybody in the public that wishes to speak to item 42? Start with your name, please. Thank you for your patience, by the way.
My name is Eric Gardullo, Government Affairs Director for the Bay Area Apartment Association. Thank you for this opportunity. Let me just start off by saying I apologize. On the December 4th public comment period, I came in and I presented a number of calculations that I put together based on a 1.4 person trip factor as an alternative to what was used, a 1.69 person trip factor in the report. The consultant, which I appreciate, noted that there was a mistake there, that I applied it in one place but not in the second place where it was appropriate to apply it, and came up with a really different number than I should have. And so the bottom line is, whether you use a 1.4 or 1.69 person trip factor, you're going to come out to about the same dollar amount in terms of maximum impact fee amounts. I can't promise I won't ever make a mistake again, but I can promise I will own up to it, and I'll let you know that I own up to it. That was a mistake. I should have caught that and I didn't. So I apologize. That said, we did send a letter as well yesterday with a couple of other points related to points we made in the first letter we sent, dealing with how that same data point relates to a couple other aspects of the Florida impact fee statute, in particular language that talks about within 4 years and language that talks about most recent. So that's, I think you all probably had a chance to take a look at that letter and see the basis for why we think there might be some concern there, and we'll leave it at that. Unless you have a question for me, I'd be happy to answer that.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you. Next, start with your name, please.
Good afternoon, Stephanie Pointer. I find it hard to believe that anybody would vote against this. I'm sorry, but these fees haven't been changed since I turned 18. I'm much, much, much older than that now. And there's no reason why there is absolutely nothing that we can go and buy for the same price that we paid for it in 1989. Sorry, but it's ridiculous. It's time to get it together and move forward. And I appreciate Councilman Carlson asking about the construction services and the land development fees. And I appreciate that Councilwoman Hurtak has asked for those already as well, because I don't think I need anybody to interpret them. I'd just like to see them. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. And I had a card from Edward Briggs. I don't see him in the audience. I'm assuming he's gone. Okay. Nobody else from the public wishes to speak to this item. Can I get a motion to close? Motion to close from Councilwoman Hurtak, second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Actually, we're taking turns. I think it would be Councilman Vieira now. So.
I read the substitute, correct?
Correct. Substitute ordinance.
Read
please.
substitute ordinance being presented for second reading and adoption ordinance of the City of Tampa, Florida, amending City of Tampa Code of Ordinances, Chapter 25, Article 1, Section 25-69, computation of amount of multimodal transportation impact fee, repealing and replacing City of Tampa Code of Ordinances, Chapter 25, Article 1, by increasing the multimodal transportation impact fee, making findings, adopting an outdated impact fee study, providing for adoption and imposition of amended multimodal transportation impact fees by repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith, providing for severability, providing effective date.
We have a motion from Councilman Vieira, a second from Councilwoman Hurtak. Please record your vote. Oh, Councilman Miranda.
I just want to say a couple of things here. I understand that this is what it is and what it's going, the money is, but at the end of the day, buses ain't gonna make it. You gotta have light rail. You got to change the mode of transportation that we use, because it does not work in the city. The streets are so crowded with cars and other vehicles and trucks delivering, you can't even turn around sometimes to go where you go. You gotta turn around and go some other way. So what I'm saying is, if we don't change the way we do business and go to the airport model, we're never gonna get transportation in this city. And I'm not an expert in transportation, but what I see on the streets and the roads that we have, you can't change the width of them, you can't do anything else, but we have to swallow the blood. So I'm hoping that I'm gonna change my vote and vote yes, so that way there's a tax available for something else in case this fails. And I guarantee you, somewhere along the line, this is gonna fail. You're not gonna have enough transportation because the streets are loaded with cars, and to go to point A, if you come from New Tampa on a bus to here, it'll take you a week, almost. It took you at least an hour and a half, an hour and a half or so, maybe 2 hours to get here. If you do it by rail, light rail, it'll take you 15 minutes, but anyway, that's it.
Councilman Carlson, followed by Hurtak.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and continue to vote no. I was planning on voting yes last time, and then I realized, based on some public comment, that the administration, without any rules, can spend this any way they want. This administration is not transparent. They play shell games with dollars, as we saw in Station 24 and a lot of other projects. I don't trust them to spend this money correctly. I'm in favor of this overall, but not with this administration. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Hurtak.
I agree with you, Councilman Miranda, on rail, but for this, it's mostly helping mobility challenges, like adding stoplights where we need to. I just wanted to make sure the public knows that it's adding, for me, the left-hand turn lane did it. Like I've never lived in a city with fewer left turn lanes. So I'm really excited about adding these types of things that can help people move in whatever vehicle manner they choose. But I mean, really cars, because that's our majority. So I really look forward to what we can do in mobility as a city with this. And this is this is a long time coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, please record your vote.
Motion carried. Carlson voting no.
Okay, very good. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Council.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to just kind of see who's in the audience. Is there anybody here that has been sitting around all day waiting to hear talk about 55 and 56? Yeah. That's not getting paid.
Well,
okay, but yeah, okay. So, seeing that it's not an overwhelming majority, we have some conflict with folks from fire. would council entertain the idea of moving item number 49 before 55 and 56 so we can get the, because we have a lot of people here from fire?
I thought it was 49 and then 55.
Well, we had said that.
55 and 56 before 50 and 51.
We put 55 and 56 as first on the
Okay,
staff
then I'll
reports.
second.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco, second from Councilwoman Hurtak, to hear item number 49 now, and then we'll move to 55 and 56. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, the ayes have it, thank you. Okay, we are now on item number 49, Fire Station 24. Staff? Chief? Okay. Thank you for your patience.
Good afternoon, Council, and happy holidays to each and every one of you. Barbara Tripp, Fire Chief for Tampa Fire Rescue. So we're here to talk about Station 24, and hopefully they're still on the line. We do have a little presentation, as this is our time to present that information. So Ken Guyon is the project manager for the fire, and we also have the member from Kokalakis, who is the construction, who will be able to give you guys some additional information. And if you have questions for them, you know, of the progress and what can be done, the floor will be open to you all. So if you can, if they can go ahead and put the PowerPoint on.
We're waiting.
And Ken, are you available if you want to say your name and go ahead and present?
Hi, Chief. Yes, I am. And good afternoon, councilors. Ken Guyette, Senior Director with Colliers Project Leaders. We are the project managers for the TFR. If I could share my screen. Perfect. Thank you so much. So similar format to how we presented last time. Going to give you a brief overview of the status of the project as of today. Again, just the core team on who's been working on the project. Same group. We've got the City of Tampa, we've got Tampa Fire Rescue, Colliers Project Leaders, and then the design build entity, which is comprised of ADG Architects Design Group and Kokalakis Contracting. As far as the update is concerned, as of today, we have received, again, we talked about this at the last meeting, the 30% or the schematic design plans were completed in September. We received the balance of the deliverable from Kokalakis towards the end of December, end of September, early October. We reviewed the entirety of the schematic design package, had some concerns. We did a memorandum to Kokalakis. We had some meetings discussing these concerns. Kokalakis and the design team will continue to strive to, again, reduce costs, reduce timing, reduce the schedule, try to find areas where we can, again, pull some time back. We had the construction estimate was higher than expected. It was within budget, but it was, again, the dollars per square foot were higher than we had anticipated. This number will likely be revised, and again, will get more and more clear as the design is completed, and more and more of that design becomes a reality, and Kokalakis will be able to price things accordingly. Also, the draft schedule that was submitted was longer than had originally been contemplated, and Kokalakis has talked about pulling that date back as well. So again, we're pulling back, we're pushing on the team to better their dates, better their cost, find areas where we can have efficiencies and be effective in trying to get this done sooner. We are currently several days ahead of schedule right now. We're hoping to lengthen that time of days into weeks and hopefully months as we continue on the process. Recently, our design development, which is the 60% documents from the architect, were delivered on December 10th. The city staff has done their review comments and given them back to the design builder as of the 16th. And that is currently where we are at right now. Kokalakis is now working on the 60% design development cost estimate, which will be presented to us in early January for our review. And we'll go through the same process as we did with the schematic design and go through in great detail and comment back on any concerns that we have. As far as the design itself, As you'll see, as we keep going through these oversight meetings and these kind of summary meetings with council, you'll see more and more detail in the documents as we go along. So for instance, this was the site plan that we had shown last time. The earlier iteration had much less on it than this is currently showing. So these iterations will get more and more nomenclature on it, more and more detail on it, et cetera, that will be priced into the project as we continue to go through the process. Likely with this first floor plan, as you can see, there's more information on this floor plan than we originally showed last update. And that will continue to be refined as we continue on from design development into the next phase, which would be construction documents, which will happen after January. The renderings are the same as you've seen previously. So this is the exterior renderings of the building. Nothing has really changed on here. We are looking at the possibility of doing something different with the doors in the bays to get something that's a little bit more robust and a little bit less expensive. These doors are extremely expensive, these bifold doors. And so we're asking the design team and the design builder to look at alternatives that may be more cost effective and less maintenance for the city. Again, the rear side side of the building, and then the rear of the building, which have the overhead doors for the apparatus bays in the back, and the tower, the training tower in the back of the building. This is the same schedule that we've been showing with obviously the red current status marker, just marching its way down this schedule. So we are currently just about in the middle of design development, which is the 60% here in December. Again, we're going to start in earnest, really the permitting process, and try to get ahead of that as much as possible, and try to, again, submit things early so that we have time for everybody in the process to have ample time to review the documents and for us to get them the answers that they're looking for prior to construction starting. It's still anticipated as of today that construction will be starting in September, late September of 2026 again, but we are trying to pull that date back, and we think that there's areas where that can get pulled back and we can get some time caught up in there as well. Any questions from the councilors?
Councilman Vieira.
Thank you very much. And thank you, sir, for that. And thank you, Chief Tripp, for that. We appreciate it. I didn't see you when I was speaking. Somebody was covering you there. So you know how that is. I wanted to make sure, I don't think they have anything to add. Does Local 754, y'all have anything to add, or is it a thumbs up? That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. But thank you for that. So, you know, I appreciate that. You know, looking at September of 2026 for a groundbreaking, again, how shall I say this? That issue has been addressed in terms of my sentiments on it, my great displeasure at that, given the fact that we passed the funding for it in 2023 after the budget, some bonding programs for that, and so it will be 3 years from the funding source until groundbreaking. And I know that Local 754 and Chief Tripp share that, because obviously everybody supports this, right? And everybody wants to get moving on this and so forth. But I think it's important for purposes of today to talk about, again, you know, the timeline of how we got to Station 24 and ultimately what the repercussions of that are going to be on a city. I think where we need more fire stations in the city of Tampa, we got to take care of our existing fire stations and make monetary investments in that. But I think that ultimately the end of this is going to be to slow down significantly to the end of the mayor's term, further discussions on more fire stations, and I think that's very unfortunate. So originally, you know, we had Station 13, which was the busiest station in the city of Tampa. 1 out of 23 stations at the time took up about 1 out of 7 calls. We know that. And so we all worked together, the fire union, then with Joe Greco, with Chief Tripp when you first got in, and we all worked together for Fire Station 25, which was a really quick victory because it was on land, refurbished a station, and all that kind of good stuff. And so the plan was sort of set aside K-Bar Ranch for finishing what we started with with the North Tampa area, with Station 13, with Station 24. But ultimately, I would suggest that by having that 3-year delay between the budget in 2023 and where we're at today, or the 3-year gap, I should say, for groundbreaking, that slows down discussions on other things. I printed this article I saw in the Tampa Bay Times saying Tampa's Water Street will get new concert venue, hotel parking, and more. It's in the Tampa Bay Times. I asked my aide to print this out, and I did it because, talking about assistance for downtown fire, right? That we now have with Water Street, a city within a city. And there have been talk about having an additional fire station for Channelside for that area for some time. And I think that because of the delay on this, that burdens the discussion on this. It burdens the discussion on K-Bar Ranch. And I know with Fire Station 9, we're working on that. We're going to get updated on that later on with regards to potential property for fleet maintenance. But I think that the ultimate effect of this has been to delay a discussion that we should be having as a city on more fire stations. I have been of the opinion for a very long time that when it comes to public safety, both for police and fire, that we need a separate revenue source, that we do an additional revenue source that is 100% dedicated to public safety. I don't think people are anti-tax, I get that, but I don't think people mind paying an extra $1 or $2 a month if it means it's going to go to cops and going to go to firefighters and go to new stations. I really believe that because every time I mention it to people, it's across the board, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, people tend to support that. So ultimately, I think that's where we got to go. Nobody likes talking about asking more of taxpayers. And by the way, this discussion that we're talking about with regards to additional fire stations, we potentially are going to be voting in November of 2026 on property tax reform. And ultimately, in one way or another, what's among the biggest losers in this going to be if we do significant tax relief, right, is going to be police and fire in terms of future investments. While potentially there are state laws and whatnot that would preclude folks from cutting present investments, future investments on additional fire stations, substations for police, et cetera, I think will be burdened. So ultimately, I think this is a big discussion on revenue and the kind of investments we have to make. But again, I look forward to that, hopefully having a groundbreaking in September of 2026 or before. And again, I think your help for this, obviously we've had, if I had $1 for every discussion we've had on this, I'd be slightly rich. So you know how that is. So I appreciate you. And thank you, sir, for your patience. Thank you.
Councilwoman Hurtak, followed by Carlson.
Yes, I have some more detailed questions. Thank you so much. What is the update on the power lines? Are they going to be undergrounded or not? Has that decision been made?
So we've met with TECO and we've discussed both options with them. Obviously, the option we would prefer would be for them to be underground for resilience purposes. So we're working with TECO. We've had one initial meeting with them. We've got another meeting that's going to be scheduled to have that conversation, continue that conversation. Right now, it's factored into the budget that we are burying those lines, so that cost is already in the budget, and that's the way that we're going to be pushing to get that taken care of. So it's our intent and it's our hope that if TECO understands we're going to be footing the bill, that they'll allow us to put the lines in how the project would prefer.
Okay, and what would the cost of that be?
I think I'd have to ask Kyle and Jose, but I think we had $165,000 in the budget for that, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. What is the status on the training tower?
So the training tower is currently in the project. It is, what we've decided to do as a group is to show that as a deduct alternate in the event that something catastrophic happens at the end, before we go out to bid and bids come in higher, then we can make that assessment at that point in time if the training tower should stay in the project or should it come out. If it means having, whether we have a building project or not, that's when we can have that conversation. But right now it is in the project.
Great. And what about solar?
Solar is not in the project. That is one of the things that was talked about very early on, and it was decided at that point in time that the building will be solar ready, but there will be no panels on the building at this point.
And a traffic signal?
So I don't believe decided that there will be a traffic signal out in front of the building. I believe that there is some more studying that needs to be done with the engineering group on whether or not there's a requirement for that, and that will be further developed during the design development phase at this point.
I kind of figured that was just sort of a rule.
Well, it all depends on, Barbara Tripp,
Yeah.
Fire Chief, so it all depends on where exactly located.
Okay.
So if you look at where the property is, it's more of a residential. As far as having highway traffic, you know, that's something that's gonna have to be assessed, but the next busiest road or highway that's close there would be 46th Street.
Okay.
So,
Okay, just curious. What has been done already to compress, or what has been done since the last time we talked to compress the schedule?
So as we mentioned before, we are looking at different forms of construction, different ways to construct the building to hopefully reduce the overall schedule. And again, this is during the construction phase. So looking at tilt wall construction, for instance, instead of just your normal stick-built construction for the building, that would increase the efficiency of erecting that building and getting it out of the ground much quicker. During the design phases, we're obviously pushing the design team to turn their designs around as quickly as possible. And internally, we are making sure that we're getting our internal reviews with the city done very quickly. So again, that's where we're able to recoup some of that time as well. But that's going to be a constant struggle with the design team to get them to compress their time. Because there is a certain amount of time that the design just needs to cook, and they just need to be able to do their work. And it's a constant tug of war for us to keep trying to pull that time back, and for them to try to say they need more time. But we're going to continue to pull as much as we possibly can.
When do you expect to begin public input sessions?
So we've discussed that. So we're intending to have those sessions, those information sessions, beginning at right after the beginning of the year, and to have those. That's appropriate timing considering it's design development now. So there'll be enough information that will be able to be conveyed to the public to be able to give them enough information to go on what's being done and how we're able to address all the questions and concerns that they may have.
And will those meetings be conducted like by internal staff or by an external provider? And if so, who?
So the likelihood, we haven't discussed this fully yet, but the likelihood would be is that we would participate, the design build team would participate, probably give some presentations. I'm sure city staff will be there, TFR staff would be there as well to answer any questions. But the likelihood is that we would do most of the presentations with the consultants.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have some more questions.
Round two. Councilman Carlson.
Yeah, I want to agree and disagree with my colleague, Councilmember Vieira, and I thank him for his leadership on these issues. I agree that this has slowed, because you first started talking about this 6-7 years ago at least. Sorry, my kids are laughing. I just said 6-7. So the
6-7. 6-7. Oh, this one. 6-7. I'm old. I don't know.
But what I supported the stations in Councilmember Vieira's district, expecting that eventually we'd get the stations in my district and others repaired, because there's so many environmental and other problems that we've seen. You know, firefighters have come to us and shown us the things they have to breathe and the conditions they're in. And you know, they're putting their lives on the line. It's up to us to defend them. We should have had this done. I mean, if the Fair Oaks building can be built within a year or whatever, and Hannah can be built within a year or two, this should have been done 5-6 years ago. The thing I don't agree with is that it's about money. It is about money in that this administration does not set fire rescue as a priority. What we need, the solution is not getting more money. The solution is getting a mayor who cares about fire rescue, because we haven't had it at least the last 7 years and probably a lot longer. If this administration set fire rescue as a priority, they wouldn't have spent $220 million on Hannah Avenue. They wouldn't have spent however much money. Again, they fudged the numbers on West River. They wouldn't have pushed for 7 years to pass a $2 to $6 billion toilet tap. They wouldn't spend crazy amounts of money to promote a $100 million wasteful project on Howard Avenue. Instead, they would, and I know I'm talking about different buckets of money, but the point is that you have to set a priority. And the people in and around the mayor, the people that worked with the mayor, the people that work there now have told me, maybe my colleagues over and over again, that this mayor brags in staff meetings about how she hasn't built fire stations. It's not that we haven't built consensus among us. We've been pushing for it. The fire rescue wants it. The union wants it. The mayor doesn't want it. If she does want it, have her come here and tell us that she does, and then let's see her get Sal Ruggiero and the team that moved these other projects fast to get these fire stations done. But that's not going to happen because it's not in her script for her video in a year and a half. And we've got to come to the conclusion that we need to show leadership and try to work around her lack of interest in fire rescue. If she doesn't like a project, she slow walks it. For years, the legal department told us we couldn't use CRA money on fire rescue. Then we got Cliff Shepard, who's the top expert on CRA, and he told us we could. So I made a motion to put CRA money in it, and guess what? The administration stalled. And we were looking for a location, and I went to one location. I talked to all the party members, and they all said it was great. Suddenly, the administration shows up with a letter where somehow they've convinced them that that's not a good location and that it's not available. The mayor should come here and say, I'm not setting fire stations out as a priority. I don't care about fire rescue. I only care about these other pet projects because fire rescue is not in my video. But the people of this community who rely on fire rescue to rescue them, they deserve better, and the people working in fire rescue deserve better. We need to be able to apply money. The CRA money we control. We can put it in there, but what we can't do is force them to do it. Same thing with Tampa Union Station. Obviously, Tampa Union Station, which is a beloved building, is not in the video either because they won't even tent the building to get the termites out. It's illegal not to tent the building. But because it wasn't their idea, they slow walk it. Now, one idea that they did steal from us is Fair Oaks. The past mayor was against even renovating Fair Oaks. This mayor shows up. You guys can Google it and look at the Tampa Bay Times story. This mayor preempted our CRA meeting 6 years ago where we said the public said they wanted to replace the building, and we said, okay. The mayor had a video to preempt us saying, I've decided to put in my budget that I'm going to renovate the building. Okay, if she said that, then why did she come around and spend $46 million or whatever the number was on that? That money could have been spent on other parks in East Tampa, but it also could have been spent on fire stations. The point is, this mayor needs to step up and support fire rescue because our men and women of fire rescue and the public deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Councilman Miranda?
I don't want to give you a mayoral speech.
Yeah.
But I may run for mayor after I heard that. Only joking.
Who cares?
Who cares could win, maybe.
Charlie cares.
But let me tell you something. I've been listening to all this for a while. Long after I'm long dead and buried, somebody here in Tampa and somebody in the state of Florida is going to be drinking tap water.
How does that have to do with the fire station 24?
Well, because
Mayor Miranda, what does this have to do with fire station 24?
That's what I heard from the gentleman who spoke before me. So I'm just here. I'm just here as a guest. I'm listening to what he said, and now he knows where I live. I got to change houses.
You got to move now.
But what I'm saying is, I enjoy all this kind of stuff because I don't know what that happened. The fire station came at the end, but he gave a lecture about a lot of things.
I think we're now like slap happy giddy on this stuff.
Oh, well, you've been here too long already.
Yeah, exactly.
But everything comes in time, and if we here in the city draw a chart of everything that's happened the last 4 years, you would be amazed what this city has gone through from A to Z, and maybe we should ask for that. In fact, I've never hardly ever make any motion, but I'm gonna make 3 motions by the time this council is finished tonight. But anyway, thank you all for being here, and you know what? I've never been against anything or for everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Hurtak, this is round 2.
Yes, I've got a couple of motions I'd like to make. So because we are talking about accelerating this, I just want to make it a motion. I move to schedule a presentation on February 19th, 2026, which is the date of the next written report, for how the team will accelerate the construction completion by a minimum of 1 month.
Second.
And I'll have that be a written report to go along with the other written report.
Well, would this be not another item on the agenda, but
It's a written report to
report.
go with the written report,
Okay.
because now these are bi-monthly. So the next report will be at this
Okay.
time in February, which is why I asked for it, a written report, and if we need to talk about it, I can schedule a motion from there.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak. We have a second from Councilman Maniscalco. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Opposed? Nay. Nay. Me.
Me.
Two of us.
Who was
Charlie
the nay?
Charlie and myself were nays.
Okay. Motion carried with Miranda and Clendenin voting no.
No, I didn't say no, I didn't say no.
Oh, I thought you said no.
No.
Okay. I said
Motion
no.
carried with Clendenin voting no.
Okay, and the other thing, you showed the project, the macro schedule, and that council, the council approval to be, that's currently projected for August and September, and I want to make a motion for the GMP contract presentation to council to be moved up to July 16th, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, a second from Councilman Maniscalco. Any discussion?
Yes, is that when the mayor presents your budget?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
You are very astute. That is exactly why I did it.
Unanimous. It passed unanimously.
Motion carried unanimously.
Okay. Anything else? That's it.
Can I say something? Yeah, if I may, sir. It's on fire. Since I'm, District 7 with regards to downtown Tampa, I never like to get in other folks' districts and unless if I'm citywide or obviously Councilwoman Young. So this would be to the citywide folks who have political jurisdiction there, so to speak, as well as to Councilwoman Young, which is, because again, I say this because we can't talk about this outside of here, is to maybe start a conversation now on setting some seed money for something for downtown fire. Because, we've got an election, a year and a half, we'll have a change in administrations. I would love to see something set up for, and again, it's to either one of the citywides or to Councilwoman Young, whoever, I wouldn't do it. But to just have something like that in the budget, I don't know how much that would cost, but just to start that discussion, we can make that a council priority so that when the next mayor comes, it's going to be going forward, and they can stop it, but there's not much that they can do to stop it, I guess, if you will. I'd love to see that again. I just make that as a suggestion, so citywides or Councilwoman Young. Thank you.
I think I've been pretty consistent on that, and is that Fire Station 1, the infrastructure there, especially with the plan to move out the admin, and there's enough real estate there to be able to add on, and then if we have to add a rescue vehicle somewhere, because I think the information that we got, that really the only real deficit we have is the south tip of Harbor Island. Is that correct as far as time response, so as far as like services for rescue?
You mean for downtown Tampa?
Yeah, it's like the south, for rescue time-wise, the south tip of Harbor Island is the only where we have a
That
deficit.
could be if the units are not available. That
Yeah.
would delay it, so.
But, so that, and that's only rescue response time, I think, is what I was
Well,
told.
the engine too has been a challenge,
Okay.
so we trying to add some more resources in that area.
See, so it's not really the channel side or downtown that we have a problem. We have a problem with the south tip of Harbor Island with that, so I don't know what the solution is there. But anyway, we just have this huge swath of real estate at Fire Station 1. If we move the administration out of there and we have the ability to add bays there, we could, we have a lot of potential there. So I'll go 1, 2, and 3. So Councilman Maniscalco? Okay, 1 and 2.
So, no, in regards to what Councilman Vieira mentioned, seed money to look at the downtown area, there was a Facebook post the other day from a guy named Nick Stocco, and it said it took an hour and a half to get from downtown to, I believe, Water Street or the Channel District. And I walked there from here. I never drive down there because I know how hectic. I drove down there earlier today because I had to get something, but it's mayhem, right? So I walked, but people driving, a fire truck or a rescue vehicle needs to get down there. If we could look at doing something, because it could also help with Harbor Island. If we do have that deficit, if it is true on that southern tip, have a rescue vehicle, something that would aid. You know, as you mentioned, if a vehicle is not available, if a unit is not available, and then what Councilmember Vieira mentioned with this new, is it a music venue? Is that what it was for Water Street? So there's that density, that increase, and obviously, you know, we don't want to be left empty-handed. So if that's something that, you know, going into this new budget, we can set some money aside. I don't know what the amount is, but because so much of it is growing, Water Street is going into phase 2. There's going to be more density, more hotels, more residential. We just want to make sure that Tampa Fire has the equipment necessary without, you know, that hour and a half. I believe it. When there's a game, my dad complained the other night, Sunday night, because he wanted to go down there. I said, nope, there's an event at Albany. I was trying to leave here last night around 8 o'clock. I couldn't get up Florida Avenue to the interstate. I took Cass to Boulevard to get out of the area. You know, I mean, you know, the one-way streets don't make it easy. And I just want to make sure that, you know, in terms of response time and whatnot, even if it may not have to be a station, could be a, you know, rescue vehicles, whatever, just so we're prepared. So.
Councilman Carlson.
I thought somebody else.
No, he decided not to.
Yeah, sorry, I missed part of this, but the study that Joe Greco did, it's a few years old, but it showed that the station should go in the parking lot next to Starship, and SPP has plans for all that, and there's no space in there. But that's why I proposed the parking lot across the street, which SPP, the port, everybody said was fine, and then somehow the mayor got a letter that said it's not fine. She happens to be on the board of the port, but we can go back and get that space in that parking garage is, the last I checked, was being leased by SPP, and they were fine giving it up rather than putting it on their space. If the study now shows with all these new buildings that it should be somewhere else, fine, but that space was allocated or designed for a Target or some big store inside, which is what they originally envisioned, and so it's big enough in there, and there are other spaces. We have the money in the CRA. This goes back to us getting control of our own CRA money, and I would beg you all, as the CRA attorney is briefing you all on the contract, that you start with my version instead of the city's version. We need to put controls on the CRA. One of the things the administration does is they get the CRA staff to tell people there's no money left, even though we haven't allocated all the money, because they're secretly stockpiling it for subsidies for developers. And we have the money right now in Channel District that we can spend on a fire station. We need to somehow set it aside, and we need to find that. We can't force this administration to do it, but we can start. Since it takes 6 or 7 years to build a fire station, we can start the process going. The other thing, traffic. I think traffic is going to add. I have an item coming up in January, and then I think again in February, a different one about traffic downtown. I don't know how emergency vehicles can get in. Last week, I was late because they shut down the roads so they could bring buses of somebody through, and those buses with emergency sirens going couldn't get through. I don't know how rescue trucks could get through this, I'm gonna talk about this in new business, but we need to stop allowing any of the roads in downtown to be shut down except during emergency purposes. You try to get out of the parking lot at Water Street, and for some reason they send you either toward, they won't let you get on the Selman, they'll send you back toward the arena. It's idiotic that that's happening. They shut down roads. Even Vic Bide told us before he left that if they just allowed the lights to go, people could get through. But it's definitely going to affect the public safety vehicles. I don't know how people are going to get rescued if they have a heart attack or a fire. Thank you.
I agree. Ditto. Okay, no further discussion. Thank you for your patience.
Something to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're always so quiet.
I was just,
okay.
Being polite.
Count. Oh, you'll get over that being polite real quick.
I know.
Councilwoman Young.
Well, I just wanted to say, I know that it's been a long time coming with this new fire station, but I'm really looking forward to seeing it online. And I have my my fire station tours are going to be coming up soon, so I'm really looking forward to doing that and doing those ride-alongs. And I had the opportunity to go to the local firefighters had their holiday party and seeing all the different fire trucks and the evolution of fire. And so just seeing this come online, and it looks like it's going to be really nice. So I'm hoping that we're able to get it done sooner rather than later, and I'm looking forward to touring it. So That was all.
I mean, I'll
You
just,
could- that's all I had to say.
Oh, no, it's all good, it's all good, just punch me. You're sitting right here, you can punch me. You know, I'll kind of double down, and you've heard it from me before, and I'm sure you're just as frustrated. It is mind-boggling that it's taken us this long to get Fire Station 24 out of the ground and going. I mean, it's just, and I know you share that, I know the union back there shares it. I don't understand it. For the life of me, I do not understand how in the world it takes this long to do this. I mean, it's crazy. It's just insane. I don't build fire stations, but I think I could do a better job. But a group of us, everybody's in this room right now, we should have started with the design and did it ourselves, and we'd be done by now. But yeah, very good. Well, thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. I appreciate those of you in the back row back there listening. Thank you guys for what you do every day. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on. We're now on 55 and 56. Unless you guys just want to sit here and watch us for the rest of the afternoon.
Yay! Brad Baird, Deputy Administrator of Infrastructure. This goes back to November. Councilman Carlson made a motion. That staff be requested to try their best to move it to a separate water and mobility project, not connected to the South Howard Relief Project. We have found a way to do that. We have an existing water contract that is the Citywide Distribution Watermain Improvements Design Build that happens to have the same contractor and same design engineer. So we took that GMP and we were able to move it over, and that's what items 55 and 56 are. And I'll stop there.
Can I ask one question?
Councilman Carlson.
Yeah, thank you to you and Rory and whoever else helped him do this. The one question I had, it's a long day and my memory's not perfect, but I think something like 900,000 came out of a mobility fund. Can you explain that? Does that mean that we're not,
Yes,
that we're shortchanging sidewalks and road repair to do this, or?
This is all paving, but if I could get the overhead, maybe this will help. So it is 900,000 for mobility and 3.2 million for water lines. And you can see on this map that the dotted lines are water line replacements on streets that are side streets to South Howard. And then the ones that do not have dashes are simply milling and overlay paving.
So the 900,000 is going to be to repave after you tear up the road, is that right?
Some of the paving is after we tear up the road, the ones with the dotted lines, but the ones without dotted lines do not have water lines, but they have a very low pavement condition index. So they're in bad shape.
Yeah, the reason why I asked all the surrounding neighborhoods, and in particular New Suburb Beautiful, as people are pulling their hair out, they're so angry that we're not redoing their roads. And they want to make sure that we're not pulling close to $1 million out of a budget that could be used to, in New Suburb Beautiful, re-brick, and in other neighborhoods, rebuild their roads.
Yeah, so this was, originally we were going to propose, since we had the Soho project we thought coming up, and so we have separated this out, and it is, these streets, if you'll notice, they're connected or they're an extension of where the water lines go in. So that's where it made sense. If they have a low PCI, let's just go ahead and, go to the end of the street, if you will.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any further questions of staff? Councilman Hertic, your light is on. Did you have a question?
Never mind. I was gonna say something. I mean, because I had a question along the same line, but ultimately, we simply asked you to not pay for it with the funds from South Howard, and you found a way to do it. And I just want to.
That's correct.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, can I get somebody to move the resolution 55? Okay, we have a motion to move 55 from Councilwoman Hertek. Well, we're going to move a room separately for the clerk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have a motion to move from Councilwoman Hertek, a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it unanimously. Can I get somebody to? We have a motion from Councilwoman Hertek to move item 56. Second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you so much. And now we need a motion to remove items 50 and 51 from the agenda. We have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Be patient, because we're not there yet. We're going to do item 18 now, please. 18.
What?
We're going backwards. Yeah, yeah. We're going forward by going backwards. Okay. Item 18, is there staff online for item 18? Or are you here? Oh, you're here, there you are, right up front. Talk about being patient. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa Davis, Arts and Cultural Affairs.
Yeah, very good. Anything you'd like to present to us and talk about this, or you just want to be for some questions?
I don't, I'm here to answer any questions.
Okay, Councilwoman Young, you asked to have this item pulled?
Yes. I did have a really good conversation with Melissa yesterday. Thank you for speaking with me. I wanted to bring this up just because I just had some, additional thoughts after we had spoken. And prior to being on council, I, did a lot of work in community and nonprofit space, and I've worked with a lot of local artists, young, new, and up-and-coming artists, and looking at, this, contract and, this contract, the art contract, but also just as we are, doing things throughout the city, I really want to just emphasize, the opportunities for us to engage our local artists. I've worked with some young artists who, a $90,000 contract could really change their life, and really help to get their, art out there and get their art noticed. And so for me, and I understood that there was a specific criteria that went into choosing the artists for this public art contract. But one of the questions that I had, one of the things that I had spoke with Melissa about was, is there a way that, we as a city, how do we help, local artists to, be eligible? If they're not eligible now, how is there something that we can do to maybe, partner or have some type of, I don't know what it looks like, but just so that we can give those opportunities to some of those, up and coming artists or young artists or local artists in the city. So that was really my point of bringing it up. Is I saw this number and I thought back to these artists, some of the artists that I've worked with, and I'm like, man, this could really change someone's life, and really give an opportunity for an artist to really be able to showcase their art in this beautiful building. Because I know we all were at the Fair Oaks ribbon cutting, and it was absolutely amazing. And I would also like to know, for the contract with Mr. Ryan McCullough, that's not me. I know there's going to be like a coloring book component. Is there going to be an opportunity for community input, or maybe like some workshops with some of the Fair Oaks kids that were displaced, because they had to go to another center for some time. So is there an opportunity to work with them to do this coloring book, or input from community or students on the artwork that's going to go into Fair Oaks? I mean, if you look behind us, we have this beautiful art from Community Stepping Stones, and it's beautiful, and we get to display it in here, and that was the kids that made it. So is there opportunity for this artist, who also happens to be a professor, to work with the students? In my nonprofit space for 2 summers, worked with the local artists, and what she did was teach the students how to paint murals through class, like throughout the summer for 8 weeks. And at the end, there was a mural. There's 2 murals now on the side of our building that the kids actually painted, and they learned how to do mural painting. So I just wanted to just emphasize the importance of, having the opportunities for our local and our young artists and our students to really, for us to collaborate and really help those artists. So that was really my main reason for wanting to pull it and talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you, in response to Councilwoman Young?
First of all, thank you very much for those comments. I appreciate those. And yes, it is a component, a scope for the artist to work with the community. Yes.
kids or the community? Is there, like, when you say community, you mean, when you say community, do you mean community and the kids, or is it?
They're
Yeah.
part of the community, so yes, with the community, with Fair Oaks, and we'll be working with Parks and Rec on that, so.
Okay.
No, I saw Councilwoman Hurtak first, and then it was, okay, so Councilman Maniscalco.
So I've served on the Arts Board, the City of Tampa Arts Council, whatever the official title is, for a while now. And we've had many opportunities where it's local artists and some are young. So for example, on Florida Avenue at the Wayne Pappy Center, didn't we?
Yes.
We had, I remember there were two candidates and one was like a local individual who was very talented, but how did that work out? Did the artist that was selected bring her to collaborate together or?
Yes, actually, that did happen. It was a collaborative effort, and now they're
Okay.
actually teaming up on some other projects.
So, I mean, in what you say, somebody local and somebody young, when it's, let's say it's $90,000, that's a down payment on a house. It is life-changing. So, but I think, the board has done a good job. Some projects are big, like what we have at the convention center and whatnot. We have artists, we go internationally, but we do focus a lot on local. West Tampa at McFarland Park, the mural there with the, some of the West Tampa icons, local artists, a local gentleman. I mean, I could go on and on, but perhaps, for example, Faro, it's a big structure and there's a lot of opportunity, but again, there's a lot of young artists and, I mean, we should explore, even, as a board member and in the future where we have public comment, where people can come to our meetings at Hannah. They're usually Wednesday at 9:00. People can come and express their thoughts as well. So, but no, thanks for pulling this item and having this discussion.
Councilwoman Hurtak, followed by Carlson.
Thank you. Hi, good to see you. Outside the dog park.
Yes.
We're neighbors. So, first of all, I had this exact same concern several years ago, and what we were told also is that we can't just be local because then our folks can't, like, if we don't pull people from all over the country, all over the world, then we can't expect our artists to have that same consideration. So I completely understand, although I do love it when we focus on local. But my question is, for the rest of the $200,000 that are allocated for this, how many more pieces of art do we expect to get for the rest of the $110,000? And do we have an idea of what that art might be?
I think that, per my director, we look to purchase works by local artists for Fair Oaks, and then additional monies will be pooled for such things as maintenance and other projects in the region.
Okay, so the $200,000 won't necessarily go to art?
Oh, it will. It will, to support art and go back into pooled funds for other art initiatives in the area. So, or at the site. So, again, that's, that will be like, go to the Public Art Committee and be discussed at that point.
Yes,
so.
but my understanding is that the $200,000 has to be spent on art. Is that not
Yeah,
the case?
yes,
Okay, so
and it's maintenance for art.
maintenance
So,
for art.
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
And I would like to also state that the artist for this contract is a local artist.
Very good. Thank you. Councilman Carlson.
Like local community artists.
Yeah, first I want to say thank you to staff. I think you all have been waiting all day, and I know I've seen you out there a long time, so thank you for waiting. I'm going to just respond to my colleague, Councilmember Young. You stirred some ideas. As Councilmember Hurtak said, the local preference rules, as someone who's done business with other governments, I don't think I've ever done business with the city of Tampa even before I was on council, but when other cities have local preference rules, it blocks our companies from getting in there, and then vice versa. So hopefully we can find a way to compete. I hope that whatever committees will seriously consider local artists. In Tampa, the other thing is that at Perry Harvey Park, there are those big statues, and I hear a lot of criticism about those. Some people don't like the way they look, But the criticism I hear is that the artist was a white artist in a park that's supposed to represent Black history. And I don't know if that's true or not. And I know, especially with the new rules, we can't choose by race. But I would also remind everybody, and I don't know anything about this artist that we're looking at now, but I would remind everybody, we have at least 3 or 4 nationally known Black artists in Tampa. We have Dean Mitchell, who I was at an event of his recently. He sold like $500,000 worth of art in one night. We have Yala Ford, who I know the city has bought from before, and you know, these are people that just happen to love Tampa, and they're here. Ya is selling all over the world, and her stuff is like $300,000 or $400,000 for one piece, which I can't afford. There's a lady named either Anika or Annika. Do you know her? She's Anika. She was a student at the University of Tampa, and she has done 1 or 2 Time magazine covers. Do we have any of her stuff in our?
We do. We have 2 of her works in our collection.
Yeah, I mean, her stuff is phenomenal too. It's too expensive now. Also, it's very expensive. There's a guy named Ferry. He's also called Junkyard. Do you all know him? He did an exhibit. I knew him. He was a USF student years ago, and he did an exhibit. I didn't stay in touch with him, but he invited me to an exhibit he did at the Edition 2 weeks ago. He had like 1,000 people at the pool deck at the Edition, and you know, some of the people from SPP and others were there. That was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Looking a local artist, and there's music and DJ and everything. I mean, he's I don't know how old he is, maybe 30 or a little bit younger, but I mean, these folks are incredibly talented, and they're all selling all over the place, and there are probably some that I don't know. One thing we might want to do at some point is relook at some of the arts ordinances to figure out how we can broaden the definition of art and make sure that we're engaging the community. Also, Councilmember Young mentioned having the artists there. A few years ago, I was on an art tour in Brooklyn and Harlem. And in Harlem, there's a public housing building that's designed by the same architect as the African American History Museum. And have you been to this? And on the ground floor, they have reading space, a library, art space, creative space for kids, and they also have an artist in residence. And there was an artist there, Derek Fojor. I think he's from Memphis originally. This guy he's an African American art, phenomenal work, and I think he's selling like on an international level right now. But even if it's not the key artist that's being highlighted as we're buying other art, we ought to maybe, I don't know if we can do it through the CRA or what, but we ought to make sure that we have artists in residence and creative playtime, because we know that if you want to be competitive, if the kids, to be competitive in the future, the kids that are in school now have to think outside of AI. We have to teach them to think creatively and analytically, or they're not going to be successful. Thank you.
Councilman Carlson, the only time I ever see you more excited at talking about art is when you're talking about Jane Castor and Bob Buckhorn.
You don't think I'm excited when I talk about Charlie?
Yeah, Councilman Vieira.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So, you know, it's funny, Councilman Carlson mentioned Harlem, and, you know, I'd love to see, and I don't know how much discretion we have over this, but when it comes to the art, to be talking about Black history, I think that would be so important. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, everybody up here, and our already, huh? And staff and staff and everything. That would be just on some of our local heroes, people like Arthena Joyner, you know, Robert Saunders, Delano Stewart, Garland Stewart, so many different amazing people, Francisco Rodriguez among others. And when Councilman Carlson mentioned Harlem, I mean, gosh, talk about the things like the Great Migration, when 6 million African Americans fled states like Florida as refugees in their own country, going up north, you know, fleeing lynching, that it happened here in Florida. You know, talking about that. So I'd love to see stuff on Black history there, especially this day and age when there's such a chilling effect at the very least on that topic. I think that would be marvelous. So just putting in my 2 cents. Thank you.
Okay, so Councilwoman Young, would you like to move item 18?
Wait, can I just?
Oh, yeah, you want to say some more?
One
Okay,
more thing.
sure.
Thank you for bringing up that point, Councilman Vieira. I definitely agree. And I also just want to reiterate, when I say local, that doesn't mean that artists from other places cannot come. I definitely understand the importance of having art in your state or in your city, but also going other places because it makes you attractive and you're able to have, get different commissions and things. So I understand that point. What I'm saying is if you have $200,000 and you have the opportunity to have a local artist, yes, I understand that this gentleman is local, but he's also a professor. I'm talking about local. You go to a vendor market and you see someone who's selling art and they've, had, something happen in life, or they're just like, I picked up this pen since I was 5 and, I'm an artist. That's what I'm talking about. And when you have an opportunity to put 2 artists together, maybe one who's done these, large scale, projects before and one who has not, there's an opportunity there. There's some synergy for them to work together. So now you're creating community because you have someone who's done this public art before and they're working with someone who hasn't yet, but helping to elevate them. And that's how we create community and create opportunity. So I understand the importance of having art, or artists from other places, and also having our artists go and commission in other areas. But everybody has to start somewhere. And with the new building, a $35 million building in this beautiful space, this could be an opportunity for us to help some of our local artists who are still looking for that opportunity. So I just want to make sure that I put that out there, that I know and understand that, but also the opportunities for collaboration and synergy there. So just wanted to put that there.
One little small thing, if I may. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. 2 things I was going to say with that, which is just I would be remiss in mentioning the Great Migration. If anyone has everyone here ever read The Warmth of Other Suns? Wilkerson, I think the name of the author is. She wrote Cast, I believe it was. Literally, I remember talking about it with Susan Johnsonville. It's one of the best books I've read. It's on the Great Migration. Anybody? Just an awesome book. And I was going to suggest, again, I'm whatever off the dais here, John, what was the name? I think his last name was John. The late Councilwoman Henderson's great-grandfather, was it Houseman, I believe his name was, who was born a slave and died in 1934, I think it was, and he died being illiterate. He couldn't read. Maybe he's having something on him. I mean, that the late Councilwoman Henderson, I think that would be a lovely tribute, something to her great-grandfather. So I can provide you all the information on it, but that's all.
I will take that back to my director. Thank you.
And I'm babbling, so I'll stop talking. Thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman Young, would you like to move this resolution?
Yes. Hold on.
Did you say move the resolution? That's fine.
Oh, yeah, I moved the resolution.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Young, a second from Councilman Maniscalco. This is moving item 18. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, here we go. We're crawling along like a snail. The Museum of Art, a community benefit agreement.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
My company works with an organization that is related to this, although not directly on it, but related to it. So I'm going to recuse myself so as not to give the perception of a conflict. Could I please ask to move to receive and file my Form 8?
We have a motion to receive and file, a second from Councilwoman Hurtak. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon, Council. For the record, Javier Marin, Economic Opportunity Department at the City of Tampa, and I'm joined today by Dr. Bill Fawcett with the Tampa Museum of Art. We're here to answer any questions you may have regarding the Community Benefits Agreement.
Yes, so staff was requested, this is just about the Community Benefits Agreement, right? Not the total.
Well, before that, may I say I'm thrilled by the excitement I see about art. It's a wonderful thing.
That's good. Councilman Maniscalco?
And if we get out of here in a reasonable time, I get to go to the Museum of Art meeting after this?
Yes.
And close it out. And also to mention that Michael Timor has announced his retirement.
Yes.
Oh,
And,
wow. I did not know that.
I heard about it yesterday, and I think it was already announced.
Public
so-
announcement went out this afternoon.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But I went over the Community Benefits Agreement. I'm good with it.
Just remember, if you want to get out for that meeting.
Yeah, nothing. It's just the museum is truly a gem in this community, and I know that they're looking at their expansion. I was there when they opened it, the new museum, and I would go there a lot in the previous iteration 20 years ago. But I appreciate what's in this. It speaks for itself what a community benefit is, and it reaches out to a lot of parts of the community, allowing more people access.
Yes.
So they can enjoy it. Now, it's not a monetary issue. It's not an education issue. It's open to everybody, and this speaks to it in the agreement.
Well, and if I may, I've been here since 9 o'clock. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Bill Fawcett, Campaign Director at the Tampa Museum of Art. I've been here since 9 o'clock, and I've heard a number of points brought up that comport exactly with our project. Parks development. You know, our project includes 80,000 square feet of external development. We're going to have sculpture gardens. We're going to have a covered plaza. It's going to be fantastic. Importantly, we're redeveloping and redesigning the Cass Street area. That is a major artery from west to east into downtown Tampa, and we're going to beautify it. We're also incorporating a number of safety features. So we're very happy about that. Another one is increased employment opportunities. You know, it was not too long ago that this was a tiny little museum, and now we have 70 employees on our way to probably 110 within the next 4 or 5 years.
Good. There's a lot of exciting, things in the pipeline for the museum. I had to bring it up publicly because I've gotten a few emails, and I did reach out to Mr. Timur, and regarding the trees along the Riverwalk, and with the expansion of it moving forward, there were a couple of concerns, specifically from one gentleman about the tree removal there. But as you have, talking about the lack of shade, there's going to be the overhang that is going to provide an adequate amount of shade. But either way, if we can preserve as many trees as we can, I know looking at the design, some trees will be lost. They're not grand oaks or anything. They're smaller trees. But either way, whatever can be done. So I just wanted to mention that.
Right.
Thanks.
Councilwoman Hurtag.
Thank you. And I particularly love that this community, we spoke about this earlier, but I particularly love that this community benefit agreement really speaks to our veterans and allows access. So I think, yes, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for that. I think obviously the more that we do with children as well, but particularly for the veteran community, I really like that benefit, and I really look forward to seeing the expansion once it's.
That's an important constituency for us, and we have a lot of art therapy informed programming that speaks directly to problems that veterans might have, PTSD and other problems. We're very happy about our art-informed programs, art therapy-informed programs, and I think you see that throughout our benefits agreement.
Yes, thank you.
And I'll close it out by saying I'm a big supporter of the museum. I understand the economic impact and the impact it has on not just economic, but the impact it has on people's lives. Art makes the world a better place, and no great city, any great city's got to have great art. So I appreciate your mission. I look forward to the transformation. I look forward to the benefit agreement and what that's going to bring to the community. And Councilman Maniscalco, since you're on the museum board, would you like to move this resolution?
Absolutely. I move item number 53.
Okay. We have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from Councilman Viera. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Motion carried
May I
unanimously
make a
with
closing
Carlson
statement?
abstaining.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Closing statement. Last night, we opened an exhibition by world-renowned ceramicist June Kaneko. We had Tampa City Ballet in the museum to a standing room only crowd. Nice. So that's the kind of mixed performance we're aiming for in our expansion. Thank you very much.
I'm also a big supporter of the ballet, so
very good.
I like that symbiotic relationship,
Yes.
and I look forward to other relationships like that. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We must have, because I just went past it. Yeah. Yes, we did.
We're at 62?
We are at 62. That is correct, Councilwoman Hurtag. 62.
Yes. So if y'all remember, I was going to motion to continue that to January 8th. I spoke with staff, and that's it. So I motion to continue that first on the agenda to January 8th. Second time we've had to continue this. I don't say that as a complaint, just that's why I'm doing it first on the agenda, if I may. Oh, and by the way, I did want to say, again, sorry, long day. My brain has been taxed today. With this, we had folks come here and talk about Gadsden Park. So, this was talking about South and North Tampa, and I want to be very clear on this. And Councilman Carlson, if you want to, I'm not making any motions. If you want to lead on any motion involving Gadsden Park, I just wanted to say my sympathies on that, because I've talked to people out there and everything, including folks with the Challenger League. And in fact, the Challenger League, Greg Jones, his involvement in that, the attorney who helped found along with his wonderful wife, Laura Cupp, his being involved in a Challenger League was what really touched his heart to begin CUP. So we should all have such a special place in our heart for this. So this is, the intent of this was, we have CRA making investments, it would appear, within CRA areas for accessible parks. And so we're looking outside of the CRA in South Tampa, New and North Tampa. And so, you know, I spoke to folks at Parks and Recs when I was outside for a little bit, and I said to Mr. Fowler, and I said that, look, I'd love to see something robust in Gadsden Park, but I told him, look, I'm going to give you a little bit more time, but make it lovely, right? In New Tampa, we have
continuing this, or
oh yes, sir. No, but I want to make sure as to my intent, right?
Okay.
Which is in New Tampa, we have the All Abilities Park, and I'll talk to them offline. But again, I'm giving them more time. But let's make it real. We've appropriated money for this. This is a big deal, and Gadsden Park's very important as well. I know it is to Councilman Carlson as well as to a lot of folks in McDill. Let me now talk about McDill. I'm joking, but that's it. So that's my motion, January 8th, if I may. Thank
Okay,
you.
we have a motion to continue item 62 to January 8th. And you wanted it as a time certain first on the agenda, is that what I heard?
First on staff.
First on staff reports, I'm sorry, first on staff reports. Is that okay with the, do we have anything else we've been told is going to be first on that agenda? Anybody look at it for me? Is it in conflict with something previously decided?
No.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, the ayes have it, thank you. Next item, 64, hurricanes. Mr. Brandon Campbell. Oh, you are not Brandon Campbell.
Good afternoon again. Brandon Campbell, Director of the Mobility Department, and Emma Gregory and I have uploaded a staff report in response to this item, and we are here to answer any questions that you might have.
So we had a staff report, but people wanted staff here. What is the questions? Who wanted staff?
Can you just, for the public's sake, in case they didn't read it, just give them the 30 seconds on what you said in the report?
Sure. So the motion that you all had made for us was to consider reduction of the in lieu fees from the current rate of $220 back to the previous rate of $29 per linear foot for homes that were affected by the hurricane, damaged at 51% or more, and under continuous ownership. And so we did some research and worked with the Department of Development and Growth Management, and we were not able to relate any records specifically to one another between damage and in lieu fee applications. And so while we don't know that the number would be zero, in that search we determined that it would be very few. And for that reason, Emma had provided some advice, and I'll let you speak to that.
So given the...
Start with your name, please.
Emma Gregory, Legal Department. So given the very small number of potential applications of an ordinance we were evaluating, when we, as the city, adopt an ordinance, it really has to be an official legislative action of a governing body, which action is a regulation of general and permanent nature as enforceable by law. So it really gets kind of to this general nature of what an ordinance really is. It's for everybody. So that was one of the concerns that we had. Another concern is that if we created an administrative appeal process or an administrative waiver process, there would potentially be a lot of applications for waivers. And just opening that up, we were concerned that there would be perhaps an arbitrary application of those waivers. We want to make sure that here in the city, everyone gets treated equally under our code. And, finally, creating distinctions between, what exactly did you say, current owners or continuous owners versus redevelopment. We didn't want to create two different classes that under our sidewalk and lieu fee ordinance. So those were the concerns outlined in the memo.
Yeah, I think, I read the memo. I think it's a point well taken, especially when you found that the universe was either didn't exist or was so small that it wouldn't be applicable to create an ordinance for such a small amount of potential folks. So while I think this idea, and I supported the concept of it, thinking that it was broader, but I think the idea had merit. But the reality is we're looking. I think what ended up happening, this was a solution looking for a problem.
No, there were, may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just quickly, I know I had at least 2, maybe 3, and they were resolved, I think. And since we first put this on, I have not had any more complaints about it. But just so folks know, when you lose your house, you go through a whole bunch of steps to try to recover it. You have to figure out how you're going to pay for it, whether you're going to get insurance and FEMA and all these things, and then you have to apply for permits. And so by the time they got to applying for permits, sometimes it was just past this date, and they had no idea that we were doing it because they're trying to rebuild their house. And so I think the idea was to provide the opposite of what was stated, which is to provide a uniform ability to measure the things at least outside people's control. But it appears to have been resolved now, and so it is what it is. If we get any more, we'll have a conversation about it. My purpose in asking for this is I didn't want the staff to have to make an arbitrary decision. I wanted there to be a rule to back staff up. But in the last couple of months, I've not heard anything on these, so I assume everybody's kind of figured out what they're going to do. Unfortunately, a lot of people just sold their houses at a big loss as teardowns, and other people are building now.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, hearing no other questions, thank you, and appreciate your patience.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to Councilman Vera, item 66.
Oh, yes, sorry.
And this would be our last
and again,
business.
no time. I'm going to move the resolution. This is a very important issue. I've spoken on it a lot, written on it a lot, but I am going to say something, Mr. Chairman, which is I've done a couple of posts on social media on it, and I have been very, very, very disappointed morally in some of the cruelty, a lot of the cruelty I've seen out there from people. I'm potentially naive. I am. I don't operate in a naive world as a politician and as a civil litigator, but I'm a little naive on some things. And you think that cruelty maybe hasn't been put to bed, but at least goes down a little bit. But what I've seen over the last few weeks, starting from the top, from the man who occupies the office of George Washington, going on down, is that cruelty never goes out of fashion. It just needs a champion, and right now has a champion, and people are following, and that really pisses me off and disappoints me. So if I may, I move item 66.
We have a motion to move item 66, a second from Councilwoman Maniscalco. Councilwoman Hurtak.
No, I just wanted to say, I appreciate you bringing this forward. I was shocked at the amount of comments on your social media. It was horrific, actually.
It is.
Very sad. I think we constantly have to be reminded that, there's good out there, but there's always people that are going to battle good. And those of us that are trying to strive for a better society have to keep pushing, and you can never let your guard down, because we see these rights being withdrawn from people, and we've seen so much erosion in what I think most people who've grown up in our generations. We have several generations here on this council. We thought that society had moved to a certain point, but this is a reminder that you always have to keep you have to keep your guard up, and you constantly have to be pushing, and you have to be vocal. On the issue that happened here on council that was directed at me recently, I appreciate council's support on that. It's something that you think society has moved to a certain point. I can tell you, I know that it's not. I know people who are in minorities. In your day-to-day life, even though we've made great strides, but the moment you let your guard down, they're going to pull us right back into the sewer. So I appreciate your initiative on this as well, and I hope this council continues to strive for a better world. Thank you.
If I may, thank you, sir. I'd be remiss if I also didn't mention, I remember a couple of weeks ago, we had the tragedy that happened out at USF involving our Muslim brothers and sisters. I did a post on that, and again, the responses that I saw to that shocked me. The hatred, the religious bigotry that people have. I've done things on anti-Semitism and on Hanukkah. Yesterday, I responded to a gentleman, I use the term gentleman very liberally, where he put something very adverse about Hanukkah, and I said, I'm sorry that I triggered you by mentioning Hanukkah. I said, please email me and I'll give you a 24-hour warning next time I mention Hanukkah. You know what I mean? Obviously very sarcastic. The things that people used to think and whisper about privately in shame, people yell about. It started, I swear to God, with tiki torches at Charlottesville in 2017, and all that stuff has been mainstreamed. We see it with the disabled. We see it, Chairman Clendon, what you talked about, and that breaks my heart and angers me so much. We see it with Black history and African Americans, with our Muslim brothers and sisters, anti-Semitism all over. It's horrific. So that's all. I wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Carlson.
Yeah, I want to thank Councilmember Vieira for bringing this forward. Just a comment on what you just said. I think that what started then was it was stirring feelings that were already there that were hidden, and it brought them to the surface. And the bad news is that they're on the surface and people are using them in all kinds of bad ways. Maybe the good news is that now it can force a dialogue, and hopefully change in the next few years will result in us coming together. This country was founded by immigrants and has welcomed people in, and has been driven economically by immigrants and all kinds of folks. And we need to be open to people's beliefs and physical attributes and other things. This thing, just for folks that know, and before we start getting slammed on this, the City Council has no right to cut people's free speech and tell you can't use certain words. We can't tell you that you can't use this word here. All this is a resolution saying that we don't agree with it. We're saying that those of us who vote for it don't agree that this is a word that should be used. And we hope that, at least I hope that we can be an example and set an example for other people that we don't agree with it. And even though we'll get criticized, we'll say that. One thing I'll say to my colleague, he's a lawyer and he's very good at words. As I said several years ago on a resolution, I wish you did a half a page instead of 3 pages, because when you start talking about FDR and all this other stuff, it brings in all this other political potential meaning that I wish we could just simply say, we don't like this word. Finally, as I said a minute ago, I hope that the folks that want this city and this country to be better will all focus on lifting each other up instead of tearing each other down. We see our community and our country being held back by all this fighting all the time, and we need to bring everybody together. Thank you.
Thank you. No, we have not.
No, move the resolution.
We have a motion to move the resolution from Councilman Vieira, second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it unanimously. Clerk, if I have kept track of this extraordinarily convoluted agenda, I believe we have finished with our regular business. Is that correct? Wow, I can't believe I was able to keep track of it. That was a mess, man. Okay, we are at new business. Let's start down to my left. Councilman Carlson.
I sent around a memo suggesting something. I'm not going to do it today. We have a new city attorney, and I want to talk to him. But in January, we have coming up the issue of this is like the third time we brought it up on downtown traffic. We've got to figure out how to resolve it, and we've got to get the administration to work with us. If any of you have the ability to get the administration to collaborate with us on this, we've got to stop closing down the roads. And what I had proposed is, after I got stuck in traffic, it's not stuck in traffic for 5 minutes. You're stuck in traffic going 2 or 3 blocks for an hour. That's how bad it is. You're trying to get out of the arena, and you eventually have to get to Ybor City and get on the Selman and go back to South Tampa. The other thing is it's blocking it down. Because they block the roads under the convention center. The traffic gets backed up all the way to Rome, all the way to Hyde Park. Bayshore is blocked. And so this has got to be fixed. We can't continue to add the things like they announced today. How can we have more entertainment in downtown if the city doesn't fix this? And the problem is they're shutting down roads. And so what I propose today is that we start an ordinance that would prohibit anybody from blocking the streets or shutting down the roads without city council's approval. I don't know under what authority they're doing it, other than emergencies. They don't have enough time to put together a draft before January 8th, so on January 8th, I'll talk about this again. But if we don't find another solution, I think we're gonna need an ordinance to prohibit them from doing it without our approval. If a parade or something else wants to block downtown, they need to come talk to us first and let the public weigh in on it, because think about the people on Harbor Island, they can't even get to their houses.
What I hear you say is that you're requesting legal and mobility to come and have this discussion, and then we move on from there?
We're having a discussion already on January 8th, and I was going to make a motion today to start an ordinance, but since there's not enough time before January 8th,
Right.
I'll just delay this and I'll discuss it on January 8th.
And on January 8th, what is the discussion?
It's provide an in-person report on preventing traffic jams in downtown.
Okay, maybe you want to add maybe legal to that as well, because going into the ordinance, I mean, just suggestion.
Okay, I'll make a motion to add to that January 8th thing to request legal to talk to us about the legal options for city council to stop downtown traffic jams.
Okay, so we have a motion to amend that request from the January 8th meeting from Councilman Carlson. I got the second first from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Councilman Vera?
Yes, sir. I actually have a few. And some came up from some discussions today. And again, we can't talk about this outside. So Councilwoman Young, if you wanted to make this motion because it's in your district, but Ashley, and I can make it whatever, but Ashley Morrow came here and talked about the Freedmen's Bureau, and I talked to Fred Hearns before, and he'd mentioned that we had a Freedmen's Bureau, and when I saw her talk about it, I go, that's awesome, and people should know that there on Nebraska, there was an office of the Freedmen's Bureau, which was the federal government's office that was put in parts of the South after the Civil War and Reconstruction to help African Americans with voting rights, education, the creating of public schools, the creating of civic institutions that would all be torn down, many of them after Reconstruction. And so I would love to do a motion, and again, Councilwoman Young, if you want to do this, it's all good, to do a historical marker there, advising the public that a Freedmen's Bureau office was there. That's kind of a big deal. You want to do that? You want to? Okay, just again, like I said, districts and all that. Okay, good. So I'd like a written report on what staff would be doing to help make this happen on, and gosh, I should have found the date. I'm sorry. Let's do, to give them time, March. Yeah, let's do February 19th. And again, a written report, if they need more time, it's all good.
So we have a motion from Councilman Viera, a second from Councilwoman Young for a written staff report on February 19th, 2026.
Again, it's for the investigation of a marker to commemorate or
The
acknowledge.
existence of a Freedmen's Bureau's office here in Tampa, there at that location on Nebraska, I think it was.
Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Can I add one thing to that real fast? Just real fast. Ashley Morrow, she mentioned here one time that her day job is that she's a photographer, and it happened that the next day I quickly needed a photographer for my holiday photos, and so I called her, and like 2 days later she came and did my holiday photos. So she's reasonably priced, she's excellent, and of course very friendly and knowledgeable. You can talk about Black history while you're getting your pictures taken.
This paid commercial. Councilman Vera?
Yes, sir. Two quick ones, if I may. So I've been talking to a gentleman, a very nice gentleman by email, who's a retired Tampa Fire District Chief, Glenn Warner. Some of y'all probably, I know Glenn. Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about, which is, so August 4th is going to be 45 years since the murders that happened at the downtown Tampa Fire Station, August 4th of 1981. Then Fire Chief Franz Warner, Sr., a 15-year veteran of Tampa Fire Rescue, and Isaac Royal, a young man who was a Tampa Fire firefighter, were murdered. I won't go into the facts of it, but they were murdered. And it's something that Tampa Fire marks all the time. And I thought it would be just lovely to invite Glenn Warner, to invite the family of the late Isaac Royal, including potentially his brother. Glenn would be taking charge of that, just to come and talk about, for 5 minutes or whatever it may be, about what this day means to them. And it's so interesting. Glenn, of course, He was 10 years old when his father was murdered, and Glenn would become a district chief, recently retired. And he and I have some interesting conversations. We don't agree on politics, but we agree on music. He has really good taste in music. And his son is now a Tampa firefighter. So, you know, there's a lot of great things there, and I'd love to come to invite these folks.
If he agrees with you on music, I don't think that would be called good taste. So we have a motion. We have a motion, Council.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. July 30th, if I may, we're open. So that's way down the line, so to speak.
So we have a motion from Councilman Fierro, second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it unanimously. Next.
And then lastly, if I may, correct me if I'm wrong, I looked at the agenda. I don't think we have ever invited Local 754 to come and do their presentation on their public safety master plan and their GIS study. Please correct me if I'm wrong. We have.
We have, yes.
When did they do that?
Maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay, well, since it's a living document that gets updated, so this was my thinking. I was going to invite Local 754 and TFR to come talk about response times at K-Bar Ranch. I think it would be just as wise, so we can talk about all of the city, to come and invite. I've already spoken to Mr. Stocco about it. He's amenable to doing that on February 19th. And we made, what? Oh, yeah, February.
That's not a workshop day.
No, sir. No, and it's open. On February 19th to invite Local 754 to come talk on their updated public safety master plan and GIS. We can talk about different parts of the city of Tampa. I say that because we just talked about downtown, and I'd love to get the union's impression on that. I've been talking about K-Bar Ranch, and that's it. So that's it.
Could we,
Okay. We have a motion from Councilman Vieira, a second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. That's it.
No, Matt.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could just add or tweak to ask them to highlight their budget priorities for this year.
Sure.
Because that way we have something actionable that we could.
Okay, we have a friendly amendment to add a request for them to present on their budget priorities for FY 26 or 27? 27. 27. Okay, very good. As that's, anybody object to that? Okay, unanimous consent. Thank you. Councilwoman Young.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the bike ordinance.
Yeah, she's
Okay,
gonna
got
do
it.
that, so we can talk when she brings it up. You
Okay,
can-
we'll talk, okay,
yeah.
so I'll save those comments, okay. Celine, this is for you. So I have 3 motions, also, and you mentioned Ashley Morrow. She also did the pictures for Fair Oaks. I don't know if y'all got y'all pictures with Santa, but I did get mine. It was very nice, and I'm actually very excited to see.
Did you say you were naughty? Is it good?
I'm always good. I
Okay.
never get any cold. And I also am very excited to see Ashley Morrow on our charter. So just want to put that out there. So I have 3 motions here. The first is one, I want to thank our staff and legal for helping just to do the correct research so that we can make sure that we have everything we needed so that I can make this motion. So I'm very excited to do it. It's for G3 Life Applications Incorporated, which is a part of the Skills Center Collaborative, which is to apply for a State of Florida Community Contribution Tax Credit for a workforce development and job readiness program. This program will be located in the Skills Center at 5107 North 22nd Street in Tampa, Florida. In connection with this application for this tax credit, the state requires a resolution from the applicable local government certifying that the project is consistent with local plans and regulations. I therefore make a motion to request that the city legal department and administration review the community contribution tax credit application of G3 Life Applications Incorporated and prepare a resolution for the January 8, 2026 City Council meeting certifying that this proposed program is consistent with local plans and regulations and stating the city's general support of this application. And we have done some extensive research, a lot of calls and meetings just to make sure we had all the correct information that we needed for this. So that is my first motion that is on the floor.
And if I may, G3 is great. Ronnie's a great guy.
Yes,
so
they're very, very awesome.
My question is, do you want to speak about this on January 8th, or you just want staff to bring the resolution added under consent?
I believe it's staff, yes, staff.
For consent?
Yes, staff come for consent, yes. And we spoke with them for that date, and they were okay with that. So that's the first
So
one.
we have a motion from Councilwoman Young, who's second from? Councilman Viera. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it unanimously.
Okay, my second, which I am very happy to do, I move that Tampa City Council present a commendation on March 5th, 2026, under commendation and/or presentations to Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Beta Sigma Zeta chapter of Tampa in recognition of its 80th anniversary of being chartered, honoring 8 decades of dedicated service, leadership, and community impact. Since its chartering on March 9th, 1946, the Beta Sigma Zeta chapter has consistently served the Tampa community through meaningful initiatives focused on scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood. Over the past 80 years, the chapter has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to uplifting individuals and families through educational support, youth development, health awareness, civic engagement, and community empowerment initiatives. The Beta Sigma Zeta chapter continues to make a lasting impact by advancing the core principles of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, of scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood, while fostering partnerships, mentoring future leaders, and addressing critical community needs with integrity and purpose. This commendation shall recognize the chapter's historic legacy, continued contributions, and positive influences on the city of Tampa and its residents.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Young, second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it unanimously. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. And one more. I move to make a motion to present an off-site commendation for TOBA's 46th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Leadership Breakfast on Monday, January 19th, 2026 at the JW Marriott. The 2026 theme is Our Voice, Our Destiny.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Young, a second from Councilwoman Hurtak. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
And very happy for that because I did the TOBA Leadership Institute, so I'm very happy to be able to now, in this space, be able to do that. And just lastly, I don't know if you all saw, there was a story, I don't know if it was Tampa Bay Times or Spectrum, but there's a woman, her name, what was her name? Christine Vickers. And there was a news, she lives in East Tampa, right in front of Coles Pond, and they did a story on her because she, over the past 20 years, has had over a dozen crashes that have happened right in front of her house. And so Darlene and I were out. We went to, it was a birthday party at Reagan Park with the Jazzy Seniors, and so we stopped by, and it looked like an accident had just happened there because you could still see the car parts right in front of her house. The pole, there are these big yellow poles that are knocked over. And we, she came outside and we spoke with her, and she was just saying that, she is scared. She's even had cars that have come through her yard. And so we went by, just to talk with her and I want to see, if there's anything that we could do just to help, her or to help her, feel safer. And while we were standing there just observing the cars, the school zone ends past her house, but the cars were flying by, and there I know it was not a school zone speed. So I just want to acknowledge that.
I would think to start, I maybe have already done this. I would have set up a meeting between your office and Mobility, and also your office and the Tampa PD, and see what kind of data they have, and then they may give you guidance to bring further business to council to discuss that.
Can I mention one thing related to that? I met with a constituent recently that had a similar problem where people were running into his house. And so he put big boulders up at the turn so that when people are turning, if they go straight, they'll hit the boulders. And the city fined him for that. And as I've been driving around, I've seen probably hundreds of houses that have big boulders, but they're apparently not getting fined.
Is it on the right of way? You could do it on your property, but if you do it you can't do it on the right of way.
Yeah, so anyway, it's something I want to research it before I bring it back, but people have to have a way to protect their property.
Yeah, I think it's because I have a similar situation at one of my homes that where I have to have the same thing, but I have to push it back on the property so it can't be in the right of way. Councilwoman Hurtak?
Thank you. I move to schedule a workshop on April 23rd, 2026 to discuss the creation of a bike pedestrian advisory committee and a multimodal and pedestrian safety on roads, parks, and trails. I'm going to work with TPD, mobility staff, and community stakeholders to create an agenda for this workshop. And I want staff to hold a community meeting in March, and I will work with staff to create topics of discussion for the community meeting. I just know we're all at the end of the year. I will bring forward what I create when it's done.
That's a good idea.
Yes.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, a second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay. So this is a motion for the city attorney to provide city council with legal memorandum to the following questions. And yes, I already gave this to our new city attorney-elect. What is the law when a building permit is issued or a site plan approved that was based on error or omission or misrepresentation? And what are the legal and administrative remedies that are available to the city of Tampa? I'd like a written report on February 5th, 2026.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
And just, I hope everyone has a lovely
Wait,
holiday.
You have one more.
I do.
Yeah. You have the, you were going to bring up the issue with the Viking?
Yeah, that's what I just did.
Oh, that was that one. That was that.
Yeah, that was a motion.
Oh.
Yeah, just, we're doing a
Oh.
workshop.
Okay, did you want to have, you wanted to talk about that, though? I didn't realize that was that.
Yeah,
Okay. Did you want to talk about that? I know you've been waiting. You don't
April
have to,
23rd. It's workshop day.
We can wait to the workshop.
No, I'll just say I think that's a fantastic idea. I think it's great to workshop it, and I have lots of comments, but I think they would be great for the workshop. But I said it out there to a couple of people, but I think it'll be an awesome opportunity for all of us to work together to create something that everybody can get behind. And the presentation today, I really enjoyed the presentation today by Downtown Partnership, and providing examples. And the great thing is, we have other examples that we can look at, and we can see what works, what doesn't work. We have opportunities to work with our biking community, with our walking community, with our youth, and really put something together that we can all get behind. So I'm really looking forward to workshopping it, and I have lots of comments, but I know we are ready to go home, so I will save them for the workshop. Merry Christmas.
I know Councilman Maniscalco's got a meeting to go to, so I know he's going to keep it brief.
Well, I indulge everyone, I would like to make a motion for Thomas Mann, CEO of Feeding Tampa Bay, to present his their annual report under ceremony and presentations on February 5th, 2026, and there is room.
Can we say 5 minutes?
Yeah, we're going to be setting those all up.
All right, we're going to set it to 5 minutes.
We're trying to do that for all.
Yeah. We have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco for a 5-minute presentation on February 5th. Second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Anything else?
Yes, just a friendly reminder, the Tampa Theater is showing It's a Wonderful Life, I think tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday at the movie theater.
Nice.
I'm probably going to go, even though I can watch it on Netflix, but there's no more beautiful place than Tampa Theater. But in regards to what we said earlier regarding the resolution passed by Councilmember Vieira, I think maybe more people should watch that movie, because it's deeper than what you think it is. An angel gets his wings. And if you look at the world, and I utilize social media, to communicate and whatnot, but it's like the poison of modern society, and we talk about the meanness of people. And we don't realize that, yes, it's the holiday season. And I mentioned this the other night, people open their hearts a little bit more. People love a little bit more. And, we share cookies and eggnog and holiday music and all that stuff. But it can't be, and I know this, this might sound silly, but it can't be just a season. It's Christmas time. Let's be a little bit nicer. The way things are, you see the news. A professor was assassinated. There was a shooter at Brown. Look at what's happening in California. With specific entertainment individuals. It's chaotic. And we're just going down this path where either we start setting better examples and trying to be kinder and a little bit more compassionate, but it's just madness. Every time we wake up and look at the news, it's just something crazier, and nothing. That's it. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Councilman Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion for February 26th, March 26th. I like to see the people in the solar division to bring out the facts of the figures of how much electricity was used in 2024 versus 2025. I think we had a lot of increase in solar during that year, and I want to see if there's any difference in the prices, even though the prices increase in electricity, what we paid 24 and what we're going to pay in 25.
Okay, I'm not quite sure, will they
The
understand what you're
rates
asking
and
for?
our electrical costs for the year.
Okay,
They're going up in January.
the cities,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
We have
yours
mo-
would be very, very low. I know you're kind of tight.
Okay. We have a motion from Councilman Miranda, a second from Councilman Maniscalco, I believe, is that right? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Anything else?
And the next few things is just about things to think about. You know, we've been lately, I haven't seen that in a long time, vacating different properties, whatever, for whatever reason, our property or property's been abandoned or whatever. And it creates hardship between the neighborhoods. And some people that live there like it, don't like it, some want it, don't, the other one gets it. And I think we ought to have something, maybe sell it to the bidder, and I don't know how, I'm just bringing it up for conversation for a future date to think about that.
Yeah, I'm not particularly fond of giving,
resolution or
giving,
nothing,
I'm
just
I'm not
think
particularly
about
fond of giving stuff
Huh?
away. I'm not particularly fond of giving stuff away.
Well, neither am I.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing it up, and that's my mannerism that I am. And thirdly, the transfer of money from one enterprise fund, there's 4 of them. I think, basically, I don't like that at all, but I think we ought to just discuss it later on, not today. We're about half worn out, and to think of what we're gonna do, if anything, regarding those funds that they use from the enterprise funds to loan it to somebody else, and then we are don't wanna pay it back right now, for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
For discussion later on.
Councilwoman Hurtak, would you mind taking the gavel?
You're recognized.
Thank you. I have 2 items of new business. One, I would like to make a motion to issue a commendation for USF Master of Urban and Regional Planning Program on March 26, 2026.
Okay, I have a motion from Chair Clendenin, a second from Board Member or Councilman Vieira. Any comment? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
next.
And then the next thing is, per an IOU that we have, we had accepted responsibility to provide the Charter Review Commission with questions from council to answer, and also our own suggestions. In order to do that, we need to schedule a special workshop. My legislative aide worked with y'all's offices, and I believe your schedules are clear on this date. January 13th, 2026, at the Sister City Room at 5 p.m. And it would not be televised, but it would be a officially noticed meeting.
What day is that?
It's January 13th. It's a Tuesday
Ooh,
at 5
those are
p.m.
Not good for me.
Well, my legislative aide said your legislative aide that was good.
Oh, because she doesn't have my personal
Oh.
calendar. Okay, well, I mean, I'll work around it.
Yeah.
What is the topic of discussion?
This council had accepted responsibility to provide questions to the Charter Review Commission of what they wanted to see answered in the charter, and also our suggestions and our, things that we wanted to see to be able to provide some guidance. So this was the workshop for us to discuss that, and what we want to see, and so that was because we had already had this discussion. It was an IOU that we had. We just did not have a meeting scheduled. We thought this was timely to be able to accomplish this task.
If I could follow up,
Mr. Shelby.
Chair. Yes, the resolution that you passed said that under the scope of work, questions by the Tampa City Council will be submitted to the CRC for commission discussion and recommendation. So you all, from what I understand, each have your own ideas, and you are going to discuss them and cull them together
Right.
and put it in a format that can be submitted.
So that was something that had already been asked and answered by council. So I would motion to schedule that January 13th workshop at 5 p.m. at the Sister Cities Room.
Second, I'll cancel my flight just for you.
I don't know if I'll be able to come.
I'm good.
Okay. At least it says what flight? We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
So we have a motion from Chair Clendenin, and who seconded?
Maniscalco.
And a second from Maniscalco. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay.
Motion carried with Hurtak voting no.
Thank you. Since this is the last meeting of 2026, I'd like to take this opportunity to say happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever holiday you celebrate. I tell you, winter solstice. I know everybody that's been up here. We've got several people who have been chairs. You don't know until you do, one, how good our staff is.
the legislative aides, council staff, Ms. Kopesky, Mr. Shelby, the clerk and the clerk's staff, the folks that protect us, the Tampa Police Department and our security personnel that make sure that we're safe, the administration, everybody we work with. It's been a pleasure, working with everybody, and I really appreciate it, especially in this holiday season, what you bring to the city of Tampa, and I know the people that live in the city of Tampa are well served. It's really eye-opening to see how much the level of commitment in every branch of this government and what they bring to the city of Tampa. And I wish everybody and their families a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Happy Winter Solstice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I want to say the same appreciation after not just the holidays, but
Yeah.
you gotta appreciate them all the time.
Yeah.
And Mr. Chairman, may I just follow up with
Except for
one
the
more?
lawyers.
If you can't beat them, join them.
There
That's
you
what
go.
I say.
Yes, Mr. Shelby.
Just referring back to the Charter Review Commission, Council, it's probably going to be a little bit, now that you've passed the resolutions, until the facilitator and the attorney get their act up and running. So I'm going to suggest and recommend perhaps that when you do call your appointee,
I meant to say that.
who was appointed today, to congratulate them, please do so and remind them that the Sunshine Law applies to them now from this point forward, that they cannot talk to other members of the same board, the Charter Review Commission. They certainly can talk to council members and talk to you, but that they have, their obligations have begun today.
Councilwoman Hurtak.
Is there a way that you could send out the list of all the people to all the people so they know who they can't talk to?
My plan was to provide a copy of the resolution and inform them to fill out their Form 1 as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
And we may have to, and I'll work with the clerk and work with the chair certainly, but we may have to begin rather quickly to begin setting up communications and email addresses and the like to be able to have everybody, so they don't have to use their personal emails and have things archived for safety's sake. Because
That's
the public records law.
We had to use personal.
Yeah, the
on our
public
first one.
records law applies to them as well, from this point forward related to their business.
Councilman Vera.
I forgot to say this out of transparency. I don't, when it comes to our wonderful budget analyst Hager, I don't know if I give her something that I want to work on, if I'm supposed to disclose it, but I will just out of transparency. We had a conversation that right now, obviously, Local 754 with management are going back and forth on some budget issues, but the term isn't I put her on notice, but just I advise that I may seek her help later on if there are allegations made by management as to budget effects of requests being made by the union, so that she can look at it as well, because I think that's important. That we have our own budget analysts look at some of these to be potentially made allegations, so that we can have a full picture of what's going on, to the extent we need to do that, just out of transparency.
Second.
Yeah.
I think we should shouldn't we just support that? I think it's better to give her direction if we just support it.
Actually, I would say this has been my take, and I've gotten some pushback from over there. Ms. Kopesky works for all 7 of us, but of course is directly accountable to the chair, for, as far as a direct report. I have not supported the issues of like going through, because one, we have sunshine issues, and I feel as though that if individual members have wants, needs, and desires and needs the technical assistance of the budget analyst, they should have the freedom to be able to go to the budget analyst independently of either the chair or myself and seek that assistance. So I've really kind of pushed back on this idea of groupthink on utilizing the staff. Same thing with Mr. Shelby. If you all had something very specific, you don't have to wire the chair in or wire the group of us in on that. So I think I think what you've done, I think in my light, is appropriate, just to go directly with Ms. Kopesky and have that report out, and then if there's something that's a bigger or greater need that we need to have that buy-in, I would say yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
The issue is that if we ask her for a number that might be an innocent sounding, or a question that might be an innocent sounding question, and the administration doesn't want to give it to us, then it puts her in a bad political position where she could be seen as as causing problems or whatever with the administration. And so if we don't always know what those things might be, it might be an innocent question, but it might trigger something. When you're talking about union negotiating, that sounds like it could be something the administration wouldn't agree with. And so my only reason to maybe sometimes get approval, and we don't have to today, but is just to support her so that the administration knows that she's not doing this on her own, that she's doing it with the support of the council.
Well, again, and the conversations that I've had with the administration is that is the role, that when she's seeking this, she's seeking it on behalf of either all of council or individual council members when they're talking. And, that is part of the role is, that's why you paid the big bucks. She doesn't have her own personal agenda. Her agenda is of individuals of council or council as a whole. Now, I think as that, Councilman Vera, as that issue matures, I think that maybe it would, as it becomes more baked, maybe it would be ripe to come before us. But I think in the preliminary stages, I don't think so. But I think as it becomes more ripe and reaches ahead, yeah, maybe that would be more appropriate to come before the group.
Sure, thank you. So I was just advising council of it, whether we do a motion or not. I assume no one opposes it up here.
Mm-mm.
So therefore, that's, I guess there. I just, again.
Remember, we also have a role in this too, if this,
Absolutely.
So we have to be mindful of that role.
Put that idea out there, again, to the extent it's necessary. That's all.
Okay. We have a motion to receive and file. Oh, you know what it is? I don't know what it is about this. We need the light up in my face so I can see it.
Okay.
Or just tap me.
Okay,
You punch me. I'm okay. You can punch
this
me.
is like the Okay. Well, today is my best friend's birthday. She's all the way in the Bronx, New York, and I've been in council all day, so I haven't been able to call her. So happy birthday, Dakota. Also,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Also, Dakota, don't accept that. I would also like to say, I just would like to thank you all. It has been awesome being up here. I've had a lot of questions, but I've really had a lot of fun, and I've really been having a great time. And so I just thank you all for being, open, just kind of opening up and having me up here and allowing me to ask questions and make mistakes if I do and come back. So this has been awesome, and I'm really looking forward to next year. So thank you, council members, and to all of our staff, and Marty and Hager and Suleen, and Darlene is amazing, and I'm just really happy to be up here, even though you be ignoring me sometimes.
A lot. Well, you say you exactly. It's a good thing I call you by the right name.
But
a lot of fun. I think, should we check you for a fever?
Yeah.
Is that
It is. I really just want to thank you all for embracing me and having me to be up here. I've really enjoyed this, and this has been very awesome. So I just wanted to thank you.
Councilman Maniscalco.
We really appreciate having you here. I don't know you. I've mentioned your family several times because your grandmother's very involved, but you have a good heart. I can tell that you're very compassionate and that you care. And in politics, there's a lot of different personalities, but you can see when someone's real, and I think that's the first thing that I notice. And it's important because it's a big city and you have a very busy district. You might have the second best legislative aide here, because I have the best legislative aide, but Darlene, I vouch for her with my eyes closed. You have a good, you have a good team right here. So, we've welcomed you before, but welcome, and we look forward to next year.
And thank you also for your heart for the community. It's evident that you care first about the community, but also thank you for your positive energy. It's as you see, it's long days like this, and it's hard to get through. But having people with lots of positive energy, like Charlie, Charlie. I always tell people Charlie has more energy than all of us combined. He was dancing in the hallway just a minute ago.
So we need to check you for a fever and him for drugs. So we have a motion to receive and file from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from Councilman Vera. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And I understand I have a stack of documents.
Where are all the little X's and O's?